and for Ukraine. Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
I think the takeaway from it is I think it was very, very meaningful. I would say probably the best meeting and day we've had so far in this entire process.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky spoke in Sweden today. The critics said the peace plan eats away at Ukraine's territorial integrity.
It is crucial to support the principles on which Europe stands, that borders cannot be changed by force, that war criminals must not escape justice.
President Trump has set a Thanksgiving deadline for Zelensky's official response. Tensions rising between the U.S. and Venezuela. The Air Force has shared images of B-52 bombers simulating a nighttime attack along the coast of the South American nation. Correspondent Charlie Nakata.
Roughly a quarter of the U.S. Navy's deployed warships are currently in this region. President Trump has already confirmed the CIA is operating inside Venezuela. In their reports, he may be weighing up an idea of a covert operation to remove the Venezuelan president.
U.S. officials are designating a cartel, it says, is tied to President Maduro as a terror organization. The busiest travel week of the year is underway. Stuart Alsop hit a snag at San Francisco International.
Well, we had a little bit of a thing in the airport, so they couldn't get the baggage door open on the airplane, and it took them a while to figure that out. We only left 30 minutes late.
Correspondent Jesse Mitchell.
The Federal Aviation Administration says it expects tomorrow to be the peak day for air travel with more than 52,000 flights. The Wednesday before Thanksgiving and the Sunday after are also predicted to be the other two busiest flying days, with more than 51,000 flights expected each day.
It's a club no one wants to join, but membership is growing. The latest health and well-being poll from Gallup finds the percentage of U.S. adults who've been diagnosed with cancer has now reached 9.7%, up from 7% in 2009. And Gallup says the rate of increase has been accelerating since 2015. But here's the thing, the overall number of new diagnoses has fallen slightly in that time. So the latest figures reflect the fact that more and more Americans are surviving for years after their cancer diagnosis. Vicki Barker, CBS News. Police in San Francisco say a thief with a gun disguised himself as a courier and tied up a homeowner with duct tape over the weekend. The San Francisco Chronicle says the bogus delivery person got away with a cell phone, laptop, and $11 billion worth of cryptocurrency. So far, no arrests. This is CBS News.
Eggland's Best. The only egg with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better egg.
It is 6:03. We have a foggy morning on tap for you. It's 46 degrees downtown. I'm in Monterey.
I'm Tom Ackerman. The FBI has taken aim at violent crime in St. Louis.
The agency says it made 276 arrests as a result of Operation Summer Heat. The FBI says St. Louis produced some of the highest numbers in the country during the national sting. More than 100 weapons recovered, 250,000 grams of meth, 2,600 grams of fentanyl. U.S. Senator Eric Schmidt says the St. Louis office has also been adding agents. And in Washington, the new co-director of the FBI, Missouri's former Attorney General, Andrew Bailey.
Now having Andrew Bailey, another Missourian who's served an important role in the state, in that building, that sort of executive core is a very important thing for us.
On the year, the FBI says St. Louis has seen a 72% increase in arrests as part of violent crime programs. Scott Jegal, KMOX News.
FBI Director Kash Patel in St. Louis speaking with Senator Eric Schmidt.
When you have a great elected leadership like the senator we do here in Missouri, and state representatives and local law enforcement willing to connect with the fight.
Patel adds that people in St. Louis will see they can do the same thing here that they did in Memphis. He didn't elaborate if that includes sending in the National Guard. A Tennessee judge blocked the Trump administration from using the Guard, but did give the government time to appeal.
The trial to remove St. Louis Sheriff Alfred Montgomery from office continues today as the defense will make their case.
Sheriff's Attorney David Benson hinted to reporters on Friday their defense will include arguing Sheriff Montgomery has changed for the better. Will Montgomery take the stand? We asked Benson.
I doubt if he's called to testify, and I think you understand the reasons why. When I talk about that he's learned, it isn't so much remorse as recognition.
Much of the prosecution's case has focused around painting Montgomery as vengeful while ignoring advice and better judgment. Mason is confident their case isn't sticking in a way that rises to removal.
Oh, wow. So warranted? Is it whatever it is it the kind of thing that should lead to a elected official being removed? If you look at all the cases that have been cited, we're looking at people who really seem to have no remorse.
Meanwhile, Attorney General Catherine Hanaway has expressed optimism in how the case has gone for their team. Trial picks up this morning at 9. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The Mo Scholars program will be under the microscope today in Cole County Court. The Missouri National Education Association is suing, calling the change in the program unconstitutional. The law that creates Mo Scholars specifically states it is a donation-based program with donors getting a state tax credit. In the last budget bill, Governor Kehoe directed $50 million of general revenue to flow into the program. The NEA says that violates 5 provisions of the state constitution and has created a state-funded voucher program. A judge last month issued a temporary restraining order.
Missouri could be in a good spot and rising demand for critical minerals for electronics and military uses. Department of Natural Resources Director Kurt Schaefer says the state has 30 of the nation's 50 critical minerals.
Missouri forefront of making sure that to the extent that we have more critical minerals than most states, that we're going to make sure that those are provided for national security, keeping our economy strong.
Missouri's 200-year mining history has left contaminated areas in parts of southeast and southwest Missouri. Schaefer tells Missouri net talks continue with the EPA to find ways to use Missouri minerals in a way that's less harmful to the environment.
For the first time in its 41-year history, the Downtown Thanks for Giving Parade was held on a Saturday. From the beginning, it would step off Thanksgiving morning. Also new this year, Celebrate St. Louis is now in partnership with the Gateway Arch Foundation. The weather was perfect on Saturday, and the parade drew large crowds along Market Street.
The business desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com.
Folks who are starting things up, folks who are serving residents and families while investing into their hometown.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker praising small businesses after awarding $10 million to Illinois.
Pritzker at Illinois Department of Commerce will now make opportunity join business owners, legislators, and community stakeholders this weekend. This day for holiday shopping swings into high gear.
With nearly $10 million in funding awarded, this round of grants will reach 47 small businesses and communities all across Illinois, supporting the hard work, creativity, and passion of entrepreneurs and their employees.
Governor Pritzker says this is not the first time and it won't be the last time grants will be made available to small businesses, because he says it's important to everyone, especially those in elected office, to see the community spurred on with support from state and local government. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
It is 6:08, and we'll check traffic and weather. We have a very foggy morning on tap, which may cause you some issues this morning. We'll have the very latest next.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Let Banner Construction show you what a difference James Hardy can make to your home. Banner's exterior design team will show you custom design options to transform your home into the neighborhood showplace. Banner is a preferred James Hardy and Pella window specialist. With winter just around the corner, now is the time to think about Pella windows for energy efficiency and comfort. Call Banner Construction 314-569-1050 to schedule your free in-home consultation, or the website bannerconstruction.com, and have a banner day.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-269-3454. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline
Helpline today at 800-269-3454 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-269-3454 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-269-3454.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Hey, let's check in with Roger Brand. He's in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we're looking good out there, aside from the fog, which maybe make it hard to see as well, not as well as you normally would, obviously, but just give yourself a little more space between the cars so when the taillights turn to brake lights, you have time to react, because it may be a little more difficult to discern. Some places, again, the fog's more dense than others. I'm looking at 55 around Highway Z, and it's, they maybe have a quarter to a half mile, something like that. So it's not down on the deck, but it's enough that if you're traveling quickly, it could be an issue. Please be careful out there. Right now, as far as delays go, we really don't have much going on. There's just that little slowdown on the Illinois side, southbound 255. We had a minor crash there south of 15, so traffic's a little heavy. I believe they have a lane shut down, and they were waiting for a tow truck at last check to deal with it. But like I said, the rest of the highways are just foggy, but moving well. Next update at 6:20 from the overhead door company, St. Louis Traffic Center.
A dense fog advisory through 9 this morning. It'll be foggy for the morning commute. Cloudy today, a couple of showers, mostly during the afternoon hours. I-56. Tonight, periods of rain that will end after midnight, 51. Cloudy and mild tomorrow with a stray afternoon shower, high 61. They will be blustery, much cooler with a mix of sun and clouds, high 45. Thanksgiving Day, mostly sunny but breezy and quite chilly, high 42. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lindbergh on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, it's just foggy and 46 degrees in downtown St. Louis. The weather sponsored by Lowe's. Early Black Friday deals are going fast. Get up to 50% off select major appliances, plus up to an extra 25% off when you bundle major appliances. Valid through 12/3. Selection varies by location. Select locations only while supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
It's 6:12. The Trump administration says Customs and Border Protection agents will next be deployed in New Orleans. Some local institutions are working with concerned migrants who fear deportation. Civil law notary Sarah Manowitz spent Saturday at the Mexican consulate providing free documentation services. She helped prepare people in case they are detained.
Provisional custody by mandate would essentially give someone else the power to make decisions and parent your child.
For the first time in more than a decade, the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops has issued a special message encouraging Catholics and all Americans to stand up against the ongoing indiscriminate mass deportation of people in the U.S. St. Louis Archbishop Mitchell Rosansky was in Baltimore for the meeting and said immigrants and refugees he's met with are afraid, scared to leave their homes or take their children to school.
He says none of them are criminals. They are hard workers making a living for their families who contribute to America. The bishops say it's appropriate for political leaders to make the country's borders more secure, but criticize their demonization and the tactics that are ensnaring a high percentage of immigrants with no criminal records.
A Baldwin family is in shambles as a father is in the process of being deported.
This is Stuart McNaught. This is my worst nightmare. Alejandro Perez Figueroa, a native of Mexico, crossed the border in 2012. He met his now wife, Janie, in 2019. Now has 2 daughters living in Baldwin, but about a month ago, he was on his way to work when he was picked up by ICE. Janie tells KMOX she was on the phone with him when it happened.
I overheard. Alejandro Perez, we have a warrant out for your arrest.
Mrs. Perez says she was under the impression that ICE would not be targeting her husband.
We had been told by even many U.S. immigration lawyers that Alejandro is not the one they're going to go after because he has a clean record. Any kind of background check he passes.
Perez Figueroa is currently being detained at the jail in Mount Vernon, Illinois by order of U.S. Marshals.
From the KMOX archives, 62 years ago today, President Kennedy's accused assassin Lee Harvey Oswald was shot dead at the municipal building in Dallas as police were moving him to the county jail. Mike Pappas, later a CBS News correspondent, was a few feet away from Oswald when it happened.
Do you have anything to say? Oswald has no shot.
His killer was nightclub operator Jack Ruby.
Washington, D.C. was preparing to bury the late president just hours after Lee Harvey Oswald was killed. CBS correspondent David Schumacher was watching the procession that took President Kennedy's remains to the Capitol to lie in state.
The crowd is already emotionally drained. The day has been too much.
St. Louis University men's soccer, they have made it to the Sweet 16, and they have sent Indiana home along the way. The Hoosiers, one of the better teams in college soccer history, had to tangle with beat them last year season. Lost to them early this season in Bloomington. This time, Blue gets some revenge. Coach Kevin Kalish on the task of defeating a team they had never beaten in the tournament. They have done it now. Blue's doing almost everything you can do in college soccer, but they had not accomplished that. And IU goes down, SLU advances.
Sure. And look, it's an extremely difficult place to play, and it's an unbelievable program. Obviously, they've been winning here, as do we. And so, yeah, obviously getting the opportunity to come play, and that's everything we did in 2022. We didn't get the job done that year, and it was great to see the guys finish it off this time around.
And they do. Tanner Anderson had the lone goal, and SLU wins it 1-0. They will face Bryant in the round of 16. First time they've made it to this round since 2021. That game will be coming up this weekend. College basketball on Thanksgiving night for SLU. The Billikens taking on Santa Clara. It's a scheduled 6 o'clock tip-off, so plan your Thanksgiving dinner accordingly. The Billikens are hot. They're 5-0. Are starting to create buzz in college basketball, and this will be their toughest test to date, a perennial NCAA tournament team in Santa Clara. In the NFL yesterday was the Kansas City Chiefs pulling off a victory 23-20 on a Harrison Butker 27-yard field goal in overtime. He kicked one at the end of regulation to tie it. 5 field goals on the day for Butker. The Bears won 31-28 over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Caleb Williams, 3 touchdown passes at Chicago, wins 4 in a row. New England won 9 in a row. They're the first team in the NFL to 10 wins. They won at Cincinnati 26-20. The Lions need overtime to beat the Giants 34-27. Green Bay blew out Minnesota 23-6. Seattle 30, Tennessee 24. It was the Jets losing to Baltimore 23-10. The Ravens have won 5 in a row. They have muscled their way to the top of the AFC North, tied with the Steelers. Cleveland won at Vegas 24-10. Jacksonville outlasted Arizona 27-24 in overtime. The Cowboys came back and beat the Eagles on a last-second field goal, 24-21. Falcons over the Saints, 24-10. Rams the Bucks, 34-7 last night. One more game tonight, Carolina at San Francisco. I'm Tom Ackerman. To the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
What's up, Missouri? Tony Gonzalez here. I've spent a lot of Sundays right here playing in front of the best fans in football. Now it's almost your turn to get the game because DraftKings Sportsbook is coming to the Show Me State on December 1st. Soon you'll get fast payouts when you win. Safe and secure app that's easy to use, promos that keep the action going all season long. It's America's top-rated sportsbook app. New customers can sign up right now for $300 in bonus bets on launch day, December 1st.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code KMOX. New Missouri customers, sign up today and score $300 in bonus bets once we're live. That's code KMOX. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Visit President, Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Subject to regulatory licensing requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable and expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Hey, just check the mail. We've been invited to a seminar and dinner is free.
It's going to be chicken and it'll taste like Play-Doh.
Don't be fooled. All seminars are not the same. For example, Steve Hall, an investment advisor representative and founder of the All Financial Group, is hosting a taxes and retirement seminar at his office in Chesterfield on December 10th. Come meet Steve's newest advisor, Tracy Richardson, as she discusses the big, beautiful bill, taxes on your Social Security, and more. Tracy will not only cover the hurdles you can face in retirement, but ways to keep more money in your pocket and less in Uncle Sam. This is a complimentary event, but seating is limited, so reserve your seat today. Call 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
You know, hon, I've always been interested in us buying a timeshare.
I'd rather eat Play-Doh.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Now, the news at 9, the talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
6:20 and time to check the roadways and the weather. It's a very foggy morning. We have a dense fog advisory in effect through 9 a.m. and it is really thick in some places, so just be aware. Roger Brand has the latest for you from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, give yourself some space between the other cars around you, the distance between the car in front of you, of course, because of that fog reaction time, so it'll change a little bit. We got some trouble out in Warrenton right now. This traffic reports a service of Jerry Kelly Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing. A reported head-on collision. It's westbound 70 near the Warrenton roundabout, so it's westbound 70 near the 191 marker west of Warrenton. So somebody was driving eastbound in the westbound lanes and struck another vehicle head-on. I do see a bit of a backup through the area. I'm looking at the camera right now. It's really foggy. I can see some traffic coming through, but I really can't tell exactly what the situation is, but that's what we've been told. And state troopers are responding right now. A little busier north 55, the right lane's probably built at 270 in between Bales and Weber. Still that slowdown southbound 255, south 15, where we had that crash they were clipping from earlier this morning. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company at St. Louis Traffic Center.
From now on, if you spring a leak, need a water heater, or have hard water,
Calling Jerry Kelly Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electrical.
Jerry Kelly will fix the leak, install the thing, and make that hard water easy. From the company who's got your whole home covered.
Dense fog advisory through 9 o'clock this morning. Cloudy today with a couple of showers around, mainly during the afternoon and evening hours, high 56. Tonight, cloudy, periods of rain ending after midnight, low 51. Tomorrow, a shower in spots in the afternoon, mainly cloudy and a high of 61. It's 46 in Forest and 47 in St. Peter's. Cloudy and 46 downtown at the Orange.
The news continues at 6:22. A peace plan proposed by the Trump administration to end the war in Ukraine is currently under discussion by Ukrainian and Western officials in Geneva. The 28-point proposal, which Russia did not attend, includes a Thursday deadline for Ukraine's response. The core of the plan requires Ukraine to cede roughly 20% of its pre-2014 territory now held by Russia, including Crimea and the Donbas, and freeze current battle lines. Crucially, it mandates that Ukraine be prohibited from joining NATO, although it allows for future EU membership. CBS News White House reporter Willie James Inman has more.
Some lawmakers expressed concern that this plan heavily favored Russians, that it was somehow written in large part or presented by Russians, but the Secretary of State pushed back publicly against that and said that the Americans had always authored this plan, that they're putting this forward, and that certainly it's not final.
The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky hailed the important steps discussed during the Geneva summit with the U.S., but pointed out that more was needed to end a nearly 4-year war following the Russian invasion.
It is crucial to support the principles on which Europe stands, that borders cannot be changed by force, that war criminals must not escape justice, and that the aggressor must pay fully for the war he started.
A new CBS News poll finds more than 2/3 of Americans are opposed to the U.S. taking military action in Venezuela. This as the Trump administration is strengthening the U.S. position off the coast of President Nicolas Maduro's nation. CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata is following the building tension from Puerto Rico.
Designating the Cartel de las Soles as a foreign terrorist organization raises the stakes for Maduro, the Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth.
We want to make sure the president has options to include a whole lot, to include doing, the cartel mission that we're doing there as well. So nothing's off the table, but nothing's automatically on the table.
Among those options, the U.S. has tripled our forward aircraft carrier with its squadrons of F-18 fighter jets already running exercises.
Trump supporter turned foe Marjorie Taylor Greene will step down from Congress in January. KMOX Republican analyst John Hancock says Greene stood her ground over releasing the Epstein files that may have gained her political respect with some, but the president only saw it as disloyalty.
The loyalty
street was uncovered, a one-way street that flows from you to him and not vice versa.
Hancock believes Green may have a broader plan to run for another office at some point. Democratic analyst Michael Kelly agrees.
You can't help but be skeptical as if there's another motivation here. From 10,000 feet, it appears as though she may have cut herself out as a true MAGA loyalist to be able to go out and say, hey, I've always stood by these things.
The report over the weekend suggested Green is eyeing a run for president in 2028, but she vehemently denied that on social media.
A 54-year-old woman sentenced to 2.5 years in prison for harassing her school colleagues.
St. Louis County prosecutor says Leslie Calloway sent hundreds of harassing and threatening text messages to one person and posted a threatening social media message targeting 2 other people. The victims were an administrator and 2 former colleagues in the Rittner School District. Calloway's actions resulted in heightened security measures at the school districts. The jury rejected the defense argument that Calloway should not be held accountable for her actions because she was suffering a mental illness at the time. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
Belleville Fire Department is unveiling another safe haven baby box, which they say represents a significant step forward in their mission to provide a safe and anonymous alternative to surrendering an infant. The new location is on Miller Road, and at noon there will be a blessing. There's providing a secure and compassionate option for parents in crisis to help ensure every infant has a chance for a safe and loving future. In Missouri, there are 11 safe haven baby boxes.
The federal appeals court in Washington, D.C. will hear arguments in a First Amendment case filed against the White House. The Associated Press says the Trump administration is causing it irreparable harm by banning its reporters from official White House events. Loyola Law School professor Lori Levinson thinks the AP is an uphill battle.
The first time the Associated Press went to the D.C. Circuit, they were not successful. But this is now a fully briefed argument before the court, and you can expect that there will be very thoughtful questions by the judges about whether the president has the right to exclude certain press organizations from his press conferences and only allow in those where he likes the coverage.
The White House imposed the ban on AP because the wire service refused to use the name Gulf of America in its articles.
627 time check sponsored by Jerry County Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
By plan. Contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. In sports, it's the dream. And if your car is out of warranty, there's a team for that as well. You, the driver, your mechanic, and Endurance to pay for the repair bills. I'm Dan Patrick. In the past 5 years, auto repair costs have gone up over 36%. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, we'll have to cover it all. With an Endurance auto protection plan, no matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done by the certified mechanic of your choice. Plans cover 24/7 towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, and lockout services. Act now and get the benefits of our Elite Plan, a $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you can never pay for covered auto repairs again. So call now for your free quote.
Call 800-371-2371. That's 800-371-2371. 800-371-2371.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand name at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Woke radical liberals are screwing up this country, but Congressman Jason Smith is fighting back. He backed one big, beautiful tax cut for working families, ending Social Security taxes for nearly all seniors, and taxes on tips and overtime gone. So call Congressman Jason Smith at 202-225-4404. And thank him for backing working family tax cuts and putting America first. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
Glover here from my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
It is 6:30, and right now it's cloudy, foggy, and 46 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman, Roger Brands, and the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
So we got one trouble spot out there right now, Tom. And it's westbound 70 west of Warrington to the Warrington roundabout. Only I believe it's the right shoulder is all that's getting by. The lanes are shut down. There was reportedly a head-on collision, a wrong-way driver coming eastbound in the westbound lane. So the jam is west of Warrington on westbound 70. The good news, nobody eastbound 70 is slowing for looks. The traffic's fine eastbound 70 through there, and it continues to roll coming in through White City all the way in to the Blanchette Bridge, really. Northbound 270 is just a little slow in the right lane. Clayton Road up through 64. Northbound 55, right lanes are a little busy right around Madison lanes from Bayless up through Virginia in a couple spots. A little more of a jam now. Southbound 255 just south of Route 15 where they had that lane shut down. At least one lane closed there for an earlier crash. They were trying to load the vehicle onto a flatbed, I think, or at least waiting for it to arrive. There's a minor crash reported on the shoulder, South 270 at 70. I'm not seeing any delays there. Next update at 6:40 from the overhead door company in St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is going to be an interesting week, not very warm. And let's get through this morning, though, with that dense fog advisory that's in effect until 9. Could see a couple of showers around, mainly during the afternoon. A high today of 56 degrees. Maybe periods of rain tonight. And then tomorrow, a shower in spots in the afternoon and a high of 61. Currently, it's 46.
The FBI has taken aim at violent crime in St. Louis, the agency announcing 276 arrests as a result of Operation Summer Heat. U.S. Senator Eric Schmidt says the St. Louis office has added agents, and new FBI co-director Andrew Bailey is Missouri's former attorney general.
Now having Andrew Bailey, another Missourian who's served an important role in the state, in that building, that sort of executive board is a very important thing for us.
During summer heat, FBI agents recovered 111 weapons, more than 250,000 grams of meth, 2,600 grams of fentanyl. On the year, St. Louis has seen a 72% increase in arrests as part of violent crime program.
Efforts to overturn the Republican legislature's order gerrymandering of Missouri's congressional districts is the subject of a lawsuit. Specifically, the company helping to gather signatures to bring the issue to voters says 4 consulting companies are paying signature gatherers large sums of money to abandon their work, turn over signatures, and proprietary information.
Advanced micro-targeting in Dallas has been around since 2007, but this is the first time they've sued for underhanded tactics. The company's CEO says it's so egregious, he's never seen anything like it. In response, Attorney General Catherine Hanaway posted on social media that the company is violating the law and called on ICE to investigate if the company was using undocumented immigrants to do the work.
People think about Rockefeller Plaza and how iconic that is, but they don't have a gateway arch.
That's a big reason Arch Park Foundation Director Ryan McClure says people should grab their skates and come downtown.
There's nothing else in the world like the Gateway Arch. And it is ours. It belongs to St. Louis. It is a national park, which we're very proud of, but it is undeniably St. Louis's calling card to the world.
Winterfest kicked off the holiday season Saturday with the lighting of the Salvation Army's Tree of Lights, and Winterfest runs through January 11th.
The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, Flooring Experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Your Money Minute next at 6:34.
On KMOX Day, the legends came home, sharing memories, moments, and the magic that made KMOX a national powerhouse.
KMOX near Bob Cosby.
I'm proud to be connected in any way to KMOX.
Frank, thank you for being here.
I'm glad to be here.
The great Charlie Brennan. Welcome back.
What a memory today. Wendy Reese is back on KMOX.
It's been a while.
We've collected more than 10 hours of incredible conversations from your favorite voices. Relive the celebration now, only at KMOX.com.
St. Louis, get ready for Uncle Charlie's R&B Without Your, featuring performances from Charlie Wilson, Babyface, Jason Lee, and Altamar. Number 7. Get tickets this Friday at 10 a.m. at UncleCharlie'sCookout.com.
It is 6:35. Let's get you updated on your money report, sponsored for you by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys.
This is the Bloomberg Money Minute. Wall Street begins an abbreviated trading week this morning. Markets got a lift on Friday. Fed President John Williams said a near-term rate cut remains a possibility. And this morning, futures indicate a mixed open Wall Street. Retail sales data kicks off a packed week, with September growth expected to have moderated as consumers squeezed by food prices and job worries. That report comes out tomorrow. United Parcel Service, FedEx, is working to secure enough freighters as they grapple with a ban on a pillar of major cargo fleets through the critical holiday delivery season and indefinite grounding of the workhorse MD-11 jet has drained capacity and complicated operations. And President Trump's family and their followers getting a crash course in the volatility ingrained in digital currencies. The value of the Trump-branded meme coin has fallen by about a quarter since August. And shares of Trump's social media company are hovering near an all-time low. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
Let's talk about Banner Construction and all the things they can do for you. BannerConstruction.com is where you get started. There you're going to find a Pella Window specialist, a James Hardy preferred contractor. They have over 30 years of experience as a St. Louis home remodeler. You know, your home's one of the biggest investments you'll ever make. And the biggest choice you will make is, who do you trust? Who do you trust to do the job right? Well, there are a lot of contractors out there, but if you can match the experience and dedication to excellence they provide at Banner Construction, and you know, it may be appealing. They understand that, to find a high-end solution for a below-market price, but cutting corners can lead to devastating results. If you choose the wrong contractor, you might not know it until after the work starts, and by then it is too late. Protect your home with Banner Construction. Premium siding and replacement windows can protect one of your biggest investments for years to come. Select the right materials by going to Banner Construction since 1993. Banner Construction, have a banner day.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer: an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypted online traffic. So this Black Friday, get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal with 73% off and enjoy the extra month.
As the owner, coach, and quarterback of your small business, you call the shots. From inventory to payroll and more. Now it's time to bring in Lynch, your funding MVP. No delay of game here. Get up to $2 million in as fast as 24 hours for business lines of credit or term loans. Let Lendseek's AI marketplace assist you in making the winning play and score that touchdown. Apply at lendseek.com, LENDSEEK.com.
This is Kyle Bush with Kurtz Financial Group. For over 6 decades, we've helped St. Louis families and businesses plan with purpose and live with confidence. Life changes, divorce, loss of a loved one, or an inheritance. It can be overwhelming. We provide the resources, long-standing support, and thoughtful guidance you need to plan ahead. With our help and experience, you don't have to navigate these transitions alone. You can move forward with greater clarity and confidence. Your goals, our mission, start today at kfgadvisors.com.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
Now the news at 1 for fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
6:39, total information AM on KMOX with Debbie Monterrey. I'm Tom Ackerman.
The power of vitamin D? I'm Fred Bottomwell with 60 seconds to better health. A new study finds vitamin D may help dramatically lower your risk of a second heart attack. Dr. Masa Tirani is a board-certified rheumatologist.
Every single day, I have patients asking me, what is the one vitamin I should take? And without hesitation, I always say vitamin D, because we have every other week, there's a new data or research paper about it. This year alone, about vitamin D, we got data that may help reduce the risk of colorectal cancer. With regards to aging, we age because our telomeres shorten. We have data now that vitamin D may decrease that shortening. So it's a longevity tool. And just last week at the American Heart Association, we got data presented that vitamin D, if you supplement patients over the range of 40, may help dramatically reduce the risk of having a second heart attack. These are amazing observations. They are observations. I know you're thinking, what dose should I take? 2,000 units for normal patients who have normal levels. But if you're under 30, then I advise a pharmacologic grade vitamin D supplementation for 3 months.
With 60 seconds to better health, I'm Fred Bob.
6:40, time to check the roadways and the weather. Let's start with Roger Brand, who's the overhead tour company of St. Louis Traffic.
No, we got a few crashes out there right now, Debbie. This traffic purchase service of Ambassadors of Harmony, the one westbound 70 west of Warrenton, only the right shoulder is getting by traffic teams almost back to Warrenton. The crash is pretty close to the Warrenton roundabout out there to give you an idea how far that jam is. Southbound 270 started to jam up south of Olives to Ladue. We have a crash south 270 just south of Ladue in the left lane. North 270 is slow about Manchester up to that Ladue area. Northbound 55 from the Bayless up to River Repair, and then the Loughborough Holly Hills area is busy. On the Illinois side, still working this crash. Southbound 255, south 15 lane blockage, and there's a jam at 15 now on southbound 255 because of it. Next update at 650 from the overhead door company at St. Louis Traffic Center.
See the 5-time international chorus champions, Ambassadors of Harmony, with the St. Louis Children's Choir and Vocal Spectrum. 4 performances only, December 12th, 13th, and 14th. Book at aoh.org or call 314-516-4949.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. What is going on with this weather? What do we have in store for Thanksgiving week?
Tom, we're going to see a lot of change of weather, and we're really only going to have one mild day tomorrow, and then a lot of cold air comes after that, and that could cause some problems over the heart of the Thanksgiving weekend. Foggy through the mid-morning hours, cloudy throughout the day, a couple of showers, most likely this afternoon, about 56. We'll get some rain tonight. It should end after midnight, though, 51. The balmy day tomorrow with lots of clouds and a stray afternoon care. A good bit of the day tomorrow, rain-free, the high 61, but a front comes through early tomorrow night. And behind it, Wednesday is going to be windy and much, much chillier with sunshine, some clouds at a high of only 45. Thanksgiving Day will be nice and sunny, but breezy and cold with a high of 42 and only 40 on Friday as clouds increase. And yes, rain and or snow possible later Friday night and this Saturday. Right now it's 47 at St. Peter's, 46 in Florissant, foggy 46 downtown at the Arch. From the Salika Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 6:43. A retired Air Force Brigadier General from St. Louis is making a difference in many lives, one food truck at a time. John Michel tells CBS Sunday Morning he was looking for something new after the Air Force.
We naively jumped into the food truck business. What we figured out, 80% of food trucks fail in 4 years.
Michel approached the Labor Department and created the first certified mobile food truck program in the country. It is free and open to everyone. He's trained 60 entrepreneurs. One of them, Demetrius Gower, known as Big Michi from Granite City.
The darkest moment was probably me going to jail, kind of woke me up and was basically like, you got to do something different with yourself or you're going to keep going down the same road and you're probably not going to come back from it.
Big Michi has now opened a restaurant and has won several awards.
We won Best Chef, Best Restaurant, Best Catering, Best Burger, and Best Wings.
Michelle has launched 7 people who are going through tough times. 3 more will hit the road this spring.
When we look back at our lives and go, what did we spend our God-given talents, energies, and passion on? We'll trade off dollars and trust that we'll do the right thing, build value in our community, and hopefully inspire some other people to do the same.
If you live in O'Fallon, Missouri, and have signed up for the Code Red alert system, there's been a data breach.
Code Red sends out emergency alerts to customers for weather warnings and problems such as boil orders. O'Fallon, Missouri officials said late Friday they found out, in addition to the outage, Code Red had a cybersecurity incident. And while city officials were initially told personal information was not affected, in fact, people's addresses, phone numbers, emails, and passwords were accessed. At this point, it does not appear information was published online, but city authorities were working to find a solution to mass notification capabilities and will be in communication with Code Red about the data leak. O'Fallon, Missouri is not alone in the breach. Code Red serves customers nationwide. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
St. Louis University soccer, they've done a lot in their history. Now a first. They've defeated Indiana in the NCAA tournament. They had been 0 for 5 going into yesterday's game in Bloomington, and they pulled out a 1-0 victory, playing defensively against an aggressive Indiana team. Kevin Kalish and his squad did the job, and they did it in dramatic fashion, holding on for the victory after a wonderful matchup between two powerhouses. SLU has won 10 national championships, Indiana 8. Tanner Anderson scored the goal in the 17th minute and held up for a 1-0 victory. Getting that early goal was key.
Yeah, it was massive. I mean, it's just a we talk about making plays in the postseason. You got to make plays. We didn't get a ton of chances. Obviously, the game plan was a little bit more, defending in our half a bit, transitioning a bit more. Indiana likes to press teams. They like to turn you over. We just didn't want to give them opportunities to do so. So we're a little bit more direct than normal. And then, we felt like had a really good defensive game plan to try to stop them from scoring.
And they held them off 1-0 in the final. It'll be SLU and Bryant this weekend in the round of 16. First time SLU's been to the Sweet 16 since 2021. College basketball on Thursday night. It'll be SLU and Santa Clara going at it. It's scheduled for a 6 o'clock tip out in California. We'll continue to keep tabs on that. The Billikens are 5-0 on the season. We're also the home of the St. Louis Cardinals, and we had a chance to visit with Hein Bloom, the Cardinals president of baseball operations, on some recent decisions that the team made, non-tendering contracts, including catcher Joel Pozo.
Yeah, I have to. So, this was the tender deadline where it's basically the deadline to tender contracts. All of your players who are under control and not already signed for next year. So for a team that's most of your 40-man roster, unless they are free agent type players that have signed guaranteed contracts, this is how you retain all of them. So there's always some decisions that come around at that point in the year. These were the guys that we just felt, it did not make sense to tender contracts to, or in the terms we needed to do so. Now, I will say these guys are all big league caliber players, and just because you not tender them does not mean you're cutting ties forever. It just means you're like to become free agent. Obviously, they then have the right to negotiate with the other 29 clubs, but we also can keep talking to them. If whatever reason, just the terms that by rule have to agree to with them don't make sense for us, but there's some different fit we see, we can keep talking to them. So we are going to do that with these guys.
There are two relievers on that list, Jorge Alcala and John King was a key lefty out of the Cardinals bullpen. Sem Robertson, also one of the names non-tendered. In the NFL last night, what a win for the Kansas City Chiefs. They gutted out. They win it at Arrowhead Stadium, 23-20 over the Colts. They come back. 2 Patrick Mahomes drives led to field goals. Harrison Butker kicked 5 field goals yesterday. The Chiefs needed that one. They're now 6-5 on the season. The Bears have won 4 in a row. They won over the Steelers 31-28. Dallas came back, beat the Eagles. Last night the Rams blew out the Bucks, and tonight San Francisco tangles with Carolina. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original, presents 100 years of KMOX. The touch of a pandemic has become there when the world stood still.
We'll go back to it. We are averaging about 225 to 300 new cases per day right now.
The St. Charles County Health Department reports a positivity rate as high as 24%.
In the meantime, we focus on treatments. What's the range of treatments being offered for COVID-19?
The vast majority of things is what we would call supportive care.
People are weary of loss, sacrifice, and inconvenience. They want to feel safe, to see loved ones again, and to get back to the things they enjoy.
The light at the end of the pandemic tunnel means hugging and kissing my mother again for the first time in 10 months.
There for every headline, every heartbeat, every heartbeat. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
The St. Louis Auto Show returns January 22nd through 25th at the America Center. Bring the whole family and explore hundreds of new vehicles from the world's biggest automotive brand. Then get up close and personal with the coolest, most exciting expensive rides ever created at the $1 Million Mile. There's even something for the kids with our Mid-America Chevy dealers sponsored Kids Zone. Get your tickets today at stlautoshow.com. Kids 12 and under get in free. That's stlautoshow.com.
This holiday season, the Dave Glover Show is excited to partner with Hardee's on Operation Food Search for the holiday food drive. While supplies last, stop by any metro area Hardee's to make a donation of at least $1 to benefit Operation Food Search and receive a limited edition PGS holiday sticker. All donations will benefit Operation Food Search to help children and families facing food insecurity. Get all the details about the campaign or to make an online donation, head to kingdomox.com/events.
Total Information AM. The news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 6:50 and it is a foggy morning, and that is going to cause some issues, no doubt. We are going to update you right now on the roadways and the weather, starting with Roger Brand, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, you got a couple of issues out there right now, Debbie. This traffic permits a service of the U.S. Air Force ban of Mid-America holiday concerts. One of them is going to be the crash southbound 270. South of the two left lanes blocks of traffic solid back to Olive, 270 Cawker to Bogdan, approaching Manchester onto the scene. Westbound 70, that collision still has the westbound lanes closed. Traffic inbound the shoulder near the Warrenton roundabout, and traffic is jammed westbound 70 back to Warrenton. So a couple miles, at least a mile and a half, something like that. Traffic backed up there. Eastbound 70A into Bryan Road, east of A into Bryan Road. It's kind of slow. Northbound 55 a little busy at 67. Bayless up through the Holly Hills area, and they did clear that crash. Southbound 255, south of 15. It looks like things are back to go for you there. Next update is 58. The Overhead Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Get into the spirit of the season with free holiday concerts by the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America, December 6th through 12th. Get free tickets and locations at afband6.org. That's afband6.org.
What we're looking at today, a variety of things. So dense fog advisory until 9 a.m., then foggy this morning, cloudy today, a couple of showers around, mainly during the afternoon hours, high 56. Low tides only 51 degrees, periods of rain after midnight. Tomorrow, cloudy, a shower in spots in the afternoon, a high of 61. We start to really drop as we head into Thanksgiving. Windy, cooler, times of clouds and sun. High 45 Wednesday, 42 Thursday with lots of sun. Friday, increasing clouds, cold. It'll be a high of only 40. Right now, it's cloudy and 46 downtown.
It is 6:52 and the news continues. Republican Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene resigning from Congress. CBS News reporter Willie James Inman says the abrupt resignation comes after a public falling out between Greene and President Trump over Greene's support of making the Epstein files public.
He was one of several Republican lawmakers who supported a vote to release the files over the president's objections, prompting Trump to call her, quote, Marjorie Traitor Greene.
Standing up for American women who were raped at 14 years old, trafficked and used by rich, powerful men should not result in me being called a traitor and threatened by the President of the United States, whom I fought for.
This weekend, the president said Greene would have never survived a primary.
President Trump accused Democratic leaders of seditious behavior punishable by death for urging military personnel to ignore illegal orders. In another social media post, Trump also called for those Democrats to be arrested and placed on trial. Congressman Jason Crow, a former Army officer, was one of the 6 lawmakers who posted the video.
When members of Congress simply remind service members of the Constitution and their duty to obey the law, which is not just our right, but is our obligation to do, that he cannot handle that, and he resorts to threats of violence and threats of arrest and execution. That tells you everything you need to know about Donald Trump's respect for the Constitution.
After Trump's comments about those Democratic lawmakers, a bomb threat was made against Michigan Senator Elissa Slotkin. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer spoke about Trump's threat, saying he's lighting a match in a country soaked in political gasoline.
A Wisconsin woman who nearly killed a classmate when she was 12 years old has been found after escaping from a group home.
Gordon Geyser was taken into custody Sunday night in Illinois. Geyser escaped from a group home in Madison over the weekend after cutting off a monitoring bracelet. The 23-year-old and a friend almost killed a classmate in 2014 when they were 12 years old who wanted the fictional character Slender Man. Their victim survived despite being stabbed 19 times. Bruce Marcus for CBS News, Eagle River, Wisconsin.
If you bought a playpen online, a new recall could affect you.
The Consumer Product Safety Commission is raising a red flag over Anna Queen's P700 play yard made in China and sold on Amazon. The CPSC says they pose a potential risk of suffocation for infants. The playpens sold for between $100 and $110 and come with black mesh panels, white fabric top rails decorated with bear faces and paws. No injuries reported, but if you have one, the commission advises you follow the instructions for disassembly and destruction. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement. It's your birthday.
12-time NBA All-Star, NBA Most Valuable Player, NBA Champion, first player in basketball history to average a triple-double for a season. The Big O is celebrating a birthday today, one of the greatest players in the history of the game. Oscar Robertson is 87.
Birthday shout out sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family owned and top rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. Happy 12th birthday to Madeline Elliott from Aunt Jeannie, Jackie Young from the Retiree Group, Don Whitell of O'Fallon. Also, Kevin Wheeler is celebrating. So is Julie Carpenter, Dave Griner, Pete Sousick, Brian Hall, and Evan Steincross.
This is the best birthday ever.
i3 Broadband, where in the spirit of the season you can feast on 100% fiber internet. Whether you're shopping, streaming, gaming, or gathering, you need reliable and fast internet, and that's the good stuff you can stuff yourself on when you have i3. They always mirror upload and download speeds. They have a price lock guarantee, and you get unbeatable value, support, and service. Call today, 877-976-0711. They have plans for any budget, and you're likely to pay less money for better service compared with whoever currently provides your internet. That's i3 Broadband, i3broadband.com.
This is Amy Marks-Morris, chair of this year's Red Kettle campaign. Christmas reminds us of the challenges faced by our neighbors in need, basic needs we sometimes take for granted. When you give with joy to the Salvation Army, you transform lives. You put food on the table and provide warm beds. You give veterans and seniors purpose. You help a child experience the joy of Christmas. And 90 cents of every dollar donated goes directly to critical social services. Bring joy to the world today. Visit salarmy.us/Amy Marks-Morris.
Welcome to Coffee House. How are you today?
Hi, great, thanks. May I get a sea salt caramel latte with almond milk, extra caramel, extra shot, ice,
Gross.
and to go, please. Did you get all that?
No, I was just ringing you up for all the extras. Can you repeat your order, please?
Oh, never mind. I'm just gonna go.
Stop paying extra for extras. Get fancy coffee without the fancy coffee price at Quick Trip. Raise your coffee bar.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. We're discussing breast cancer with Dr. Debbie Bennett with Washington University School of Medicine and Siteman Cancer Center. Mammograms, when should people get them? How often should they get them?
People should start getting mammograms at least by age 40. If you don't have a significant family history of breast cancer, then we recommend that you start at 40, and we recommend that you get them every year to give yourself the best chance of finding a breast cancer as early as possible.
What would you say to someone who is nervous to get their mammogram?
Well, that would be everybody. So what I would tell them is that they're doing it for themselves. They're doing it for their families, for their kids. The reason we do mammograms is, as I said, to find cancers as early as possible. If we can start them as early as possible, they're very treatable.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu. Hey, it's 6:59. Roger Brand, some issues out there. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, Tom, we do. We had a wrongly driver reportedly that caused a crash out on course, and that's the one that's westbound 70 west of Warren, near the Warrenton roundabout. Only the right shoulder's getting by there, and traffic jammed at Warrenton on westbound 70. And then they're still working this crash on southbound 270 south of Ladue, the left, but maybe two left lanes are blocked. I guess it's two left lanes. And traffic's bumper in pockets from 364 down past Ladue on South 270. North 270 Gawkers are bogged down from Manchester up into the area. Northbound 55 for now is out. Looks good north of Bayless, headed up the river to Fair. Downtown was still okay westbound across the bridges for you. Next update at 7:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
The CBS News World News Roundup, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Officials from the U.S. and Kyiv say they're making headway in talks to bring peace to Ukraine. Correspondent Vicki Barker is at the foreign desk. Talks aimed at revising that 28-point peace plan for Ukraine are proceeding virtually now after yesterday's face-to-face meetings in Geneva with U.S., Ukrainian, and European officials. EU leaders are hailing what they're calling the new momentum in the peace process. Ukraine President Zelensky is summing up the position on this side of the Atlantic.
Be real. More is needed.
Zelensky says the main problems are Russia's demands to take Ukrainian territory. The U.S. is adding a Venezuelan drug cartel with alleged ties to President Maduro to its list of foreign terrorist organizations today. CBS's Charlie Daggett has more on rising tensions.
In the military's latest show of force, the Air Force shared images of B-52 bombers simulating a nighttime attack along the coast of Venezuela. And now the FAA has issued a new warning for Venezuelan airspace, citing worsening security situation and heightened military activity.
We got news overnight from the Midwest. Police say a young woman held in a mental health facility after she stabbed a classmate has been captured. Reporter Bruce Marcus.
Morgan Geyser was taken into custody Sunday night in Illinois. Geyser escaped from a group home in Madison over the weekend after cutting off a monitoring bracelet. The 23-year-old and a friend almost killed a classmate in 2014 when they were 12 years old to honor the fictional character Slender Man.
Welcome to the busiest travel week of the year. Megan Jarrett getting through the airport in Oakland turned out to be a snap.
We had flown like a month ago from Europe and it was really crazy, but this flight today was really quick and easy.
Transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve is monitoring the drive to
AAA expects more than 73 million to hit the road, up a bit from last year. But as storms make their way to the eastern part of the U.S., drivers may run into delays and messy conditions.
Parts of Texas are facing the risk of severe weather today. Heavy rain is expected on the East Coast tomorrow and snow in the northern plains. It was a wickedly good weekend at the movies. Wicked for Good debuted with $150 million in the U.S. and Canada. That makes it the biggest opening ever for a film inspired by a Broadway musical. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
A KFC deal in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's this $4.99 you'll spend this season. Prices and participation may vary while supply lasts. Tips and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
46 degrees, cloudy sky in downtown St. Louis. I'm Tom Ackerman.
And I'm Debbie Monterrey. The FBI says it's arrested hundreds of people as part of a national sting to fight violent crime.
Named Operation Summer Heat, it resulted in 276 arrests, 111 weapons recovered, more than 250,000 grams of meth, and 2,600 grams of fentanyl.
That's just in the St. Louis region, says Drew Bailey, Missouri's former attorney general, now serving as FBI co-director.
So summer heat was an enormous success. St. Louis played a key role. Throughout my time at headquarters over the past few months, we would continue to see numbers presented to us from across the nation, and St. Louis was oftentimes leading the way.
The latest arrests come on the heels of an infusion of new FBI agents into the St. Louis area. It's part of a larger plan to get agents out of the headquarters building in Washington and into the field. The FBI says for the whole fiscal year, St. Louis has seen a 72% increase in arrests as part of violent crime programs. Scott Jagal, KMOX News.
In addition to Senator Eric Schmidt praising Andrew Bailey for Operation Summer Heat, FBI Director Kash Patel made a stop in St. Louis.
Senator, thanks so much for having us here in Missouri. And the senator's right. Fighting violent crime is one of the top priorities for the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Patel praised politicians like Schmidt and local law enforcement who are willing to, quote, get after the fight.
Efforts to overturn the Republican legislature's Trump-ordered gerrymandering of Missouri's congressional districts is the subject of a lawsuit. Specifically, the company helping to gather signatures to bring the issue to voters says 4 consulting companies are paying signature gatherers large sums of money to abandon their work, turn over the signatures and proprietary information.
Advanced micro-targeting of Dallas has been around since 2007, but this is the first time they've sued for underhanded tactics. The company's CEO says it's so egregious he's never seen anything like it. In response, Attorney General Catherine Hanaway posted on social media that the company is violating the law and called on ICE to investigate if the company was using undocumented immigrants to do the work.
St. Louis parade, and of course, the Shriners zooming around in their little cars. Thousands lined Market Street for the Thanks for Giving parade held for the first time on the Saturday before Thanksgiving. This year, Celebrate St. Louis teamed up with the Gateway Arch Foundation for that parade. Now through the end of Thanksgiving weekend, you can help the St. Louis Area Food Bank by making a donation online. A community challenge grant made by Ackerman. All gifts up to $200,000 will be doubled.
The parade was in connection with Winterfest, and despite the cold season, downtown is expected to get a boost from the return of Winterfest with ice skating and more.
On our high street, we had 70,000 people come down for Winterfest. I mean, that's a huge deal. I think it goes to show that when you do quality programming that's family friendly and safe, which all of our programming is, people will come down.
Gateway Arts Park Foundation Executive Director Ryan McClure says there's a new heated tent which provides comfortable views through windows of the ice rink. Winterfest kicked off the holiday season with the lighting of the Salvation Army's Tree of Lights on Saturday, and it runs through January 11th.
Santa will be making an appearance this afternoon at the St. Louis Aquarium. He'll be swimming with the fishes. At 1:15, Santa will strap on his scuba gear and dive into Shark Canyon.
Oh, my.
Yeah. A special dive mask will allow Santa to chat with guests, and children can share their Christmas wish lists. If you can't make it out today, Santa will be diving into the Shark Tank on a number of updates, including Black Friday.
Wow, I've heard a lot of things. I have not heard that one. Business sponsored by Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com, as we head into one of the busiest shopping weeks of the holiday season. Small businesses are taking the lead for Governor J.B. Pritzker, and he's awarded $10 million in support of 47 small businesses.
Pritzker says this funding will uplift businesses owned by historically underrepresented groups and very small businesses, helping them create and retain jobs, improve efficiency, grow local economies.
From corner stores to cafes to, burgeoning manufacturers, small businesses are the job creators at the heart of the Illinois economy, and they're the pride of so many communities across the state.
Governor Pritzker says now is an especially important time to uplift small businesses. Illinois remains laser focused on an agenda that fights back against tariffs and helps grow the entrepreneurial environment. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
It is 7:09. We'll check traffic and weather next.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-242-3131. 800-242-3131.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63 out of nowhere. Had a stroke.
super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife, and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam, no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/life.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
At Cardinal Glen Children's Hospital, every moment with our patients is a gift. This holiday season, you can be the reason children take hope as they fight serious illness and reach milestones once thought impossible. Your gift provides life-saving care to those who need it most. Please donate today at treehope.org and be the reason a child has hope for tomorrow.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Roger Brand on this Monday morning, overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, we're still doing a couple of trouble spots on the interstates. Westbound 70, we have a reported head-on collision, a wrong-way driver going eastbound in the westbound lanes of 70, and that has the westbound lane shut down. The right shoulder's getting by. It's westbound 70, right near the Warrenton roundabout, and traffic jam almost midway between the Wright City West area and Warrenton right now on westbound 70, so the jams get longer there. And then they're still working this injury crash, blocking the two left lanes are southbound 270, south of Ladue. Traffic's in solid on South 270 back at 364. North 270 Hawkers are bogged down right around the Clayton overpass. Eastbound Highway 70, a little busy. Lake St. Louis and Bryan Road. Other than that, the rest of the highways could do over an injury crash on 21 and 110 in Jefferson County. Next update is 720, the overhead company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, dense fog advisory through 9 a.m. It'll be foggy this morning, otherwise cloudy today with a couple of showers, mainly this afternoon, the high 56. Tonight, cloudy with periods of rain and will end at midnight, low 51. Rather cloudy tomorrow with a stray afternoon shower, high 61. Wednesday will be windy and much cooler with sun and clouds, the high 45. Thanksgiving Day will be mostly sunny, breezy, and cold, high only 42. From the Sliga Heat and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMR.
It's 46 in Florissant, 47 in St. Peter's, cloudy 46 downtown at the Arch.
It is 7:12 after 3 days of trial. How is the sheriff's side feeling in the case which could remove him from office?
So they've only heard from the Attorney General's witnesses, with the defense expected to begin today. Sheriff's Attorney David Mason believes they have made a compelling defense already just by discrediting the state's witnesses.
We have seen a lot of the witnesses are not reliable. I can't imagine the attorney going to these people in front of a jury of 12 citizens trying to convince them of guilt beyond reasonable doubt. They're too easy to dismantle.
But what ultimately matters is that Judge Stephen Omer sees it that way, since he will decide Alfred Montgomery's fate. On multiple instances, he has expressed his frustration with Mason's cross-examination, sometimes to the point of yelling at him for making his line of questioning about defending himself and going on a quote-unquote fishing expedition. Trial resumes today at 9. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
For the first time in more than a decade, the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops has issued a special message encouraging Catholics and all Americans to stand up against the ongoing indiscriminate mass deportation of people, unquote, in the U.S. St. Louis Archbishop Mitchell Rosansky was in Baltimore for the meeting and said immigrants and refugees he's met with are afraid, scared to leave their homes or take their children to school.
The Archbishop says none of them are criminals. They are hard workers making a living for their families who contribute to America. The bishops say it's appropriate for political leaders to make the country's borders more secure, but criticize their demonization of immigrants and the tactics that are ensnaring a high percentage of people with no criminal record.
Mexican national living in Baldwin with an American wife and kids has been detained for deportation.
Alejandro Perez Figueroa and Janie have been married since 2020, now have 2 young daughters. Earlier this month, he called his wife to tell her ICE was taking him from his work.
I just fell on the floor in absolute panic, not knowing what to do next.
Perez Figueroa crossed the border in 2020. The only other thing on his rap sheet is a parking fine from last year.
He had a work permit, which we were able to get a social security number for him and a driver's license. And we thought he would be with that.
Janie tells KMOX she reached out to Senator Josh Hawley's office and other elected Republicans who told her to get a good lawyer. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
Perez Figueroa is currently being held at the jail in Mount Vernon, Illinois. St. Louis University men's soccer. They are in the Sweet 16, beating Indiana 1-0 yesterday in Bloomington. Indiana, the 6th seed in the tournament, and the 21st ranked Billikens get it done. They score an early goal from Tanner Anderson, and then they hold on for dear life, playing mostly defense in the second half. The field might have been tilted, but they were up for the challenge. Kevin Kalish and crew have done it. Does he wish they had generated more offense?
Look, I think every game plays a little bit different. We had to make a conscious choice as a staff how we're going to try to win this game. You can win games multiple ways. But we're in right now. It's literally we played Thursday night in double overtime game. We played the conference final in double overtime. We played 3 days prior to that. So our tanks coming into this game, pull them up as much as we can. But I learned in 22, we hit a wall in right around the 70th minute, 22, and that's when they punished us and they won the game. So I think we had to take a little bit more of a conservative approach to save our legs.
They did that, and a good question in that Zoom from Post Dispatch's Tom Timmerman, and a very good answer and strategy from Kevin Kalish right there. SLU gets it done, 1-0 over Indiana. They take on Bryant in the round of 16 in the NCAA tournament. The Billikens basketball team will be playing on Thursday night, Thanksgiving night. So plan your dinner accordingly. It's expected to be a 6 o'clock tip-off, and it is the biggest game to date for the Billikens. They'll be playing Santa Clara, a perennial NCAA tournament competitor. In college basketball yesterday, SIU beat Alabama State 83-68. Southern Illinois topped Delaware 79-59, and Illinois State was the winner over Coastal Carolina. Scheduled today, SIU against UAB. Kansas City will face Lindenwood at 6 o'clock. That game's at Highland Arena in St. Charles. Number 8 Illinois taking on UT Rio Grande Valley, and Missouri State will take on LIU Brooklyn. The Kansas City Chiefs, a winner 23-20 as they knocked off the Colts yesterday. They had to come back to do it. Patrick Mahomes engineers 2 scoring drives from an 11-point deficit and win it 23-20 in overtime on Harrison Butker's 5th field goal of the game. Last second field goal for the Cowboys to the Eagles and came back to win 24-21. Rams beat the Bucs last night 34-7 on Sunday Night Football. Monday Night Football will be Carolina and San Francisco. Some other big winners yesterday. The Bears have won 4 in a row. They beat the Steelers 31-28. New England's won 9 in a row. They're the first NFL team to 10 wins. Patriots top Cincinnati 26-20. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Zero Res. They would like me to wish you all very happy holidays. I'll let you know that not only are they still working, but they're very busy, but they have time for you. Zero Res has been with me now for the better part of 20 years. I've used them a dozen times. My friends and family have used them dozens of times. I've never heard anything but glowing responses from DJ listeners. They can do your wall-to-wall carpet. They can do air rugs. They can do upholstery. They can do dryer vents. They can do air ducts. And they're having a very special offer, a Black Friday offer. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $119. $75 off your air duct cleaning. So it's a great deal, great people. Call 314-474-2020. You can also book online at zeroresstl.com. Just let them know you heard about them on the DTS.
Coverage varies by plan. View contract and exclusions at insurancewarranty.com. In sports, it's the dream team. And if your car is out of warranty, there's a team for that as well. You, the driver, your mechanic, and endurance. pay for the repair bills. I'm Danica Patrick. In the past 5 years, auto repair costs have gone up over 36%. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all. With an Endurance Auto Protection Plan, no matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done by the certified mechanic of your choice. Plans cover 24/7 towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, and lockout services. Act now and get the benefits of our Elite Plan, a $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you can never pay for covered auto repairs again. So call now for your free quote.
Call 800-371-2371. That's 800-371-2371. 800-371-2371.
Total Information AM on 1041 FM, KMOX.
It is 7:20. Let's get an update on traffic and weather. It actually doesn't look foggy in downtown St. Louis right now, so maybe the worst of it is over, but that's the thing with fog. You never know. Depends where you are, but we do have a dense fog advisory through 9 this morning. Let's get the latest on the roads from Roger Brandon, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there's still no change with our highway problems, Debbie. We've still got this crash westbound 70 west of Warrenton near the Warrenton roundabout that had the westbound lane shut down. They were originally letting traffic by on the right shoulder. Traffic jammed a good half, 3/4 mile east of Warrenton on westbound 70 right now. Again, I can't just see what the status is, but that was the last one we had on the situation there. There's still a jam, obviously, and there's still a jam. And I can see this crash still in the left lanes. South 270 south will do. It's a solid jam at 364. North 270 Gawkers now are bogged down from about Doherty Ferry up into that Ladue Road area. Northbound 55A, midway up to McNutt looks a little busy. There's a little slowdown between Bayless and River to Pear. The Illinois drivers still have it great. No delays downtown across the Poplar and Musical Veterans Bridges, and a little bit of a delay right now northbound at 21 at 110. We had a crash there as well. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company at St. Louis Traffic Center.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg says this dense fog advisory runs through 9 a.m. and then a cloudy day with a couple of showers around later in the day, afternoon hours into this evening. A low tonight of 51, our high is 56. Tomorrow we get up to 61. We'll have a shower in spots in the afternoon, and then Wednesday much cooler, 45. Thanksgiving Day mostly sunny, breezy, quite chilly actually for Thursday. A high of just 42 degrees. Currently, it's 46 in downtown St. Louis. Weather is sponsored by Lion's Choice, where you can enjoy a quick and delicious meal, but make it healthy with plenty of low-cal, low-carb, vegetarian, and gluten-free options. There's something to satisfy everyone on the Lion's Choice menu. Stop by today, Lion's Choice.
The news continues at 7:22. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and other Trump administration officials met with Ukrainian negotiators in Geneva over the weekend as talks continue to possibly end the Ukraine war. But in the U.S., lawmakers continue to react to a plan many say heavily favors Russia.
Speaking to reporters following it the day of talks, Rubio says things are going well.
I can tell you, that I feel very optimistic that we can get something done here because we made a tremendous amount of progress here.
At a conference in Halifax, Canada, some U.S. senators say they had private conversations with Rubio over the weekend in which the Secretary of State told them the 28-point plan released on Friday was not the White House's peace deal, but a wish list from Russia. The State Department denies Rubio told lawmakers this, and Rubio himself said nothing has been finalized.
No matter what we came up with today, obviously, we now have to take what we come up with if we can reach that agreement with the Ukrainian side to the Russian side. That's another part of this equation.
The deal we know of right now would see Ukraine give up portions of land they still control, but land Russian President Vladimir Putin has unsuccessfully tried to take on the battlefield. It also does not require Ukraine's allies to intervene militarily should Russia decide to attack them again sometime in the future. Republican Congressman Mike McCall tells ABC's This Week the deal reminds him of the 1994 Budapest Agreement Ukraine signed.
Ukraine gave up all its nuclear weapons in exchange for what? For nothing. And then Russia invaded. There was no security agreement. I would not advise Ukraine to sign this.
The top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee, Mark Warner, tells ABC News.
It's awful. It would make Neville Chamberlain's giving in to Hitler, the outset of World War II, look strong in comparison.
However, Republican Senator Eric Schmidt on Fox News says President Trump is playing the hand he's been dealt.
The truth of the matter is, and a lot of people won't say it, is the Ukrainians have been losing for a long time.
Trump set a Wednesday deadline for Ukraine to respond to the plan, but said to reporters that timeline could slide.
No, it would like to get the thing. It should have happened a long time ago.
John Stolis, Washington.
Also in the news this morning, Washington reacting to Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene's decision to resign from Congress on January 5th.
Taylor Greene was elected to Congress in her Georgia district in 2020. She's been one of President Trump's strongest advocates until recently. In a statement about her decision to resign, the Congresswoman said that Congress has been mostly sidelined since President Trump took office for a second term. She's also been outspoken on behalf of the victims of disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein in the push to release the Epstein files.
And they are victims of something that's unthinkable. And this should have never, ever happened.
Greene said that Trump considered her a traitor for fighting for Epstein's victims.
This was a fight that we should have never had to wage. It should have been the easiest thing for every single member of Congress. It should have been the easiest thing for the Speaker of the House. It should have been the easiest thing for the President of the United States to release all the information, every single file, on behalf of the American women.
President Trump has been critical of Greene's working with Congressman Thomas Massie, who called for the release of Epstein's files. The president was asked if he forgives Greene.
Forgive for what? No, I just disagreed with her philosophy. She started back in perhaps the worst Republican congressman in our history.
While a Democratic congresswoman who Greene has sparred with on Capitol Hill, Jasmine Crockett, was asked by CNN State of the Union about her reaction to Greene's announcement.
It was like, you've got to be kidding me. You're on the other side of the president for 1 week and you can't take the heat. Imagine what it is to sit in my shoes, to not only be on the opposite side of him, but to have people like her who are constantly fanning the flames of hate.
Congresswoman Greene said in her lengthy statement that she doesn't want her district to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against her by President Trump. I'm Clayton Neville.
The power of vitamin D? I'm for vitamin. With 60 seconds to better health. A new study finds vitamin D may help dramatically lower your risk of a second heart attack. Dr. Masa Tehrani is a board-certified rheumatologist.
Every single day, I have patients asking me, what is the one vitamin I should take? And without hesitation, I always say vitamin D, because we have every other week, there's a new data or research paper about it. This year alone, about vitamin D, we got data that it may help reduce the risk of colorectal cancer. With regards to aging, we age because our telomeres shorten. We have data now that vitamin D may decrease that shortening. So it's a longevity tool. And just last week at the American Heart Association, we got data presented that vitamin D from supplement patients over the range of 40 may help dramatically reduce the risk of having a second heart attack. These are amazing observations. They are observations. I know you're thinking, what dose should I take? 2,000 units for normal patients at normal levels. But if you're under 30, then I advise a pharmacologic grade vitamin D supplementation for 3 months.
With 60 seconds to better health, I'm Fred Bottom.
728 time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly, heating, air conditioning, electrical, and plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up. What's up, Missouri? Tony Gonzalez here. I've spent a lot of Sundays right here playing in front of the best fans in football. Now, it's almost your turn to get in the game because DraftKings Sportsbook is coming to the Show Me State on December 1st. Soon you'll get fast payouts when you win. A safe, secure app that's easy to use and promos that keep the action going all season long. It's America's top-rated sportsbook app. New customers can sign up right now and score $300 in bonus bets on launch day, December 1st.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code KMOX. New Missouri customers, sign up today and score $300 in bonus bets once we're live. That's code KMOX in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Subject to regulatory licensing requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable and expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS
And now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
Discover the life you want at Fairwinds River's Edge in St. Charles. We deliver a life-enhancing environment that nourishes the mind, body, and spirit as residents lean into joy and embrace purpose in a new age of senior living. Simply put, we have your back so you can put your best foot forward. Join us Wednesday, December 3rd for our holiday craft fair, followed by happy hour with BB Boomers. Visit Fairwinds River's Edge on Facebook to learn more.
It is 7:30 and it's a cloudy morning, foggy in places. It's 46 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
I'm Tom Ackerman. Roger Brands at the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We're looking better on these highways now. It looks like they have cleared the crash westbound 70 at the Warrenton Roundabout. The traffic is jammed at west and right to the rest area most of the way to Warrenton, but it's opening up before you get there. So it looks to me like things are improving there, and they are improving as well. South 270, they cleared that crash. You can see the traffic coming through fine. There are no longer any restrictions south of Ladue, but you're jammed almost back at Dorset through most of the way down to Ladue on South 270. So it'll take a little bit for that to sort of equalize thin out or to get to a point where it's just slow at least. Northbound 270, Big Bend all the way to Ladue. That's pretty busy. If you're on northbound 55, little slow down a couple spots. Approaching 67 Bay briefly. Some more traffic once again from Bayless up to River to Bear, but after that you're okay. Eastbound 64, there's a slowdown east of Winghaven, Clarkson into Timberlake. Brief delays at the interval. Westbound 64, Hampton out through Hanley, a couple of slow spots. And up 170, kind of off the pace at the Parkway. Next update is 740. The Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Dense fog advisory through 9 this morning. Otherwise, just a cloudy day with a couple of showers around, mostly during the afternoon and a high of 56. Periods of rain ending after midnight tonight, and then a shower in spots tomorrow afternoon with a high of 61. Currently, it's 46 and cloudy.
The Most Scholars program will be under the microscope today in Cole County Court. The Missouri National Education Association is suing, calling the change in the program unconstitutional. The law that creates Most Scholars specifically states it is donation-based, with donors getting a state tax credit. In the last budget bill, Governor Kehoe directed $50 million of general revenue to flow into the program. The NEA says that violates 5 provisions of the state constitution and has created a state-funded voucher program. A judge last month issued a temporary restraining order.
Missouri could be sitting on a critical mineral gold mine. Department of Natural Resources Director Kurt Schaefer says the state has 30 of the nation's 50 critical minerals and says finding environmentally sound ways to get them could be big for mineral-rich southern Missouri.
Some of these states in the state of Missouri and southeast Missouri that have these materials that can be developed for some of the poorest counties actually in the state of Missouri, it would present a tremendous economic opportunity to see this industry move forward.
The minerals in question are used in cell phones, computers, cars, lighting, and other electronics. The U.S. government has been looking at other mineral sources due to concerns about an over-reliance on China, the main supplier of these minerals.
This is not the first time that we've made grant awards for small businesses. It won't be the last time.
Governor J.B. Pritzker on awarding some 47 Illinois small businesses with $10 million in grants.
It's quite important to all of us, especially those in elected office, to see the community spurred on with support from the state government and local government.
Pritzker says the economic vision for Illinois is to focus on job creation.
These merchants sustain quality jobs, anchor downtowns and commercial districts, provide vital goods and services, play an integral role in supply chains.
Pritzker adds those small businesses bolster the strength and diversity of the economy.
It is now 7:34. We are going to check your money report coming up. News sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
Hey guys, Dave Glover here from Dave Glover Show. So, what is my show? My show is 4 different people living 4 different lives, all coming together every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. to talk about life, actual life, not so much headlines or did you see what Trump did today or XYZ. Never predictable because I never know what I'm going to talk about from one segment to the next. So it truly is unique and unpredictable. Join us.
104.1 FM, KMOX.
Woke radical liberals are screwing up this country, but Congressman Jason Smith is fighting back. He backed one big, beautiful tax cut for working families, ending Social Security taxes for nearly all seniors, and taxes on tips and overtime gone. So call Congressman Jason Smith at 202-225-4404 and thank him for backing working family tax cuts and putting America first. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
My name is Brittany Allen. I'm a widow. My husband Ryan died. Never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance when the unexpected happens. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-242-3131. 800-242-3131.
It is 7:36, and that means it's time to get you your money report from Bloomberg, sponsored this hour by UC Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Stock futures mixed after Friday's rebound. The holiday shortened trading week will bring with it some key data, including retail sales figures tomorrow. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the Trump administration will make an announcement on healthcare this week. He says that it's all about bringing costs down. Political reports the White House expected to announce a 2-year subsidy extension. ACT launched a feature over the weekend that displays users' locations. The new feature displays the country or region an account is based in, as well as when it was created and how many times its username was changed. President Trump says no television network should be able to expand. In a social media post, he cited potential growth, but he considers left-wing news outlets. He was responding to a Newsmax story that said the Federal Communications Commission is moving to give television networks massive reach. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
This is the Our Idea is Ready to Launch vision. This is the Create Great Jobs vision. This is the We Need More Space vision. This is DC, where your business visions become realizations. Through securing capital for growth and comprehensive strategies that ensure a prosperous future. Because thriving businesses mean thriving people and thriving communities. DC Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Let Banner Construction show you what a difference James Hardy can make to your home. Banner's exterior design team will show you custom design options to transform your home into the neighborhood showplace. Banner is a preferred James Hardy and Pella Windows specialist. With winter just around the corner, now is the time to think about Pella Windows for energy efficiency and comfort. Call Banner Construction 314-569-1050 to schedule your free in-home consultation, or the website bannerconstruction.com, and have a banner day.
Hey there, it's Steven, the owner of the Photo Pros, formerly Creve Coeur Camera. Each day, people bring us their family history, single photos in need of restoration, piles of photos wanting them to be scanned, boxes of slides, albums, videotapes, DVDs, and even old home movies. We take them and digitize them, or what we call scan them at high resolution, and place them on a USB thumb drive. Plus, many people want additional copies for the rest of the family. Yes, we'll make you copies. Here's the best part. You don't have to send them out of St. Louis and have a chance of losing them. If needed, we can fix or restore the entire image or images. We are slightly higher priced than the internet internet, but our quality is top notch. Remember the Photo Pros, formerly Creve Court Camera. Come visit Mark, Derek, Daryl, Tony, and me, Steven, at our store. You can reach us at 314-567-3456 or Google the Photo Pros or even Creve Court Camera.
This is Justin Brown with Prince Financial Group. For over 6 decades, we've helped St. Louis families and businesses plan with purpose and live with confidence. As retirement approaches, one question matters most. How will you replace your paycheck? With decades of experience, we've helped retirees turn uncertainty into clarity through personalized income planning and steady guidance. Our proactive strategies are designed so you can enjoy the retirement you worked your lifetime for, with clarity, confidence, and peace of mind. Your goals, our mission. Start today at kfgadvisors.com.
In St. Louis, the weather can change in an instant. One day, you're under a thunderstorm warning. The next, it's an ice storm. Stay prepared for whatever Mother Nature throws your way. When weather threatens, the KMOX Storm Center has expert forecasts and live reports. Here to keep you safe and informed. Don't get caught off guard. Know your weather. The KMOX Storm Center, sponsored by
Saliga Heating and Cooling.
Total Information AM. Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
And Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, things are improving where we have those crashes. The Traffic Enforcement Services, Hamburg G Law Firm. As a matter of fact, westbound 70 now is wide open, headed to Warrington, so no longer even a hint of a slowdown. Well, that's great. And southeast 70 looks a lot better. It is backed up from Dorset down through Page, but it opens up even before you get midway down to Olive. North 270 is slow at Gravelway, bumper to bumper. Big Bend to Manchester remains busy up to Ladue. Eastbound 64 through Winghaven, Ogden, Clarkson to Timberlake. Westbound 64 cleans Tinker to Hanley slow. Southward 70 heavy from Olive down to 64. Northbound 55 heavy into 67. Bale up through River Fair, and westbound 64 just a little slow across the Papa. Next updated 750 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
At Hamburg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers and important decisions should not be based solely on advertising.
Let's check in with our AccuWeather meteorologist, Joe Lundberg, as we look ahead for this travel week.
Kind of a gloomy day today, Abby, with overcast skies. Fog this morning will gradually thin, but then that'll be followed by a little rain at times for the primarily this afternoon. We'll get to about 56. There'll be more rain at times tonight, but that should taper off and end after midnight with a low just 51. It'll be mild tomorrow with mostly cloudy skies. A little more than a shower in the afternoon. I think a bit of the day is rain-free to high 61. Front means business when it comes through tomorrow night. And even though we're back to sunshine for Wednesday, it's going to be windy, much cooler with a high only 45. Sun-filled skies for Thanksgiving. Again, a breezy, chilly day, only 42. Clouds increase Friday with a high near 40. But now it's 46 in St. Peter's, 46 in Florissant, foggy, 47, cloudy skies down to the art. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm active with the meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's 7:42. Very busy week ahead for millions of Americans all rushing to get out for Thanksgiving. TSA expects to screen nearly 18 million people through the holiday weekend. The Sunday after Thanksgiving could be one of the busiest travel days in TSA history. CBS News travel correspondent Chris Van Cleve has more from Newark Liberty Airport.
The nation's airlines expect to fly a record 31 million people during the holiday rush. Frontier Airlines CEO Barry Bill. What do you see for the holidays in particular?
I think the holidays are going to continue to be robust. I mean, we're seeing more and more the holidays are a big deal.
Some flyers may have opted to drive because of the uncertainty at airports during the shutdown.
The AAA projects at least 73 million people will travel by car. That is nearly 90% of Thanksgiving travelers. Additional 1.3 million people on the road compared to last Thanksgiving.
If you haven't seen an older loved one in a while, you may notice changes at the holidays.
If you see a difference in memory or behavior, it's time to have a conversation.
Say, hey, I noticed some things. These are the things that I've noticed. You know, you're asking the same question often, or you seem to be struggling to follow our conversation. Do you notice that too? Like, are you noticing that you're having some problems?
Sarah Lovegreen, Vice President of Programs for the Greater Missouri chapter of the Alzheimer's Association, says early screening is key to accessing the best treatments. Other warning signs of Alzheimer's disease include difficulty completing familiar tasks and confusion with the time and place. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Most anticipated meal of the year is only 4 days away. While a lot of us can already taste the turkey and stuffing, what are the dishes you'd rather not see?
Anything with raisins, especially potato salad. JJ, a native of North Africa, is hosting his first Friendsgiving in Virginia. Don't bring that to my house, please.
Anything that has to do with the sweet potato casserole with the marshmallows on it, disgusting. I want it back.
St. Louis's Lauren O'Connor has her reason, as does Maine's Megan Lyle.
Sweet potatoes, since I make my own, and mine is usually better.
Megan's sister-in-law has 2 items on her list.
Don't bring in cranberry sauce and none of your political drama.
Jimmy Alexander, CBS News, Washington.
Boy, I'm with her 100% of both of those.
Oh, no, I love the sweet potatoes, but you can say political
She
drama.
said cranberry.
Oh, I love cranberry. Well, they're better when you make them yourself.
I'm not.
I'll eat the canned stuff.
Personally, sweet potatoes, I'm all on board. I disagree on the sweet potato comment. But here's my thing on cranberry sauce. It overpowers everything else. Not a good comp. This is just me. It's too tart and sweet. It overpowers everything else.
Oh, see,
Yes,
I
a
think
little
that
bit on the
turkey,
side, maybe.
turkey can be a little bland sometimes. You
Okay.
just a little bit of cranberry sauce with a mouthful of turkey.
That's where I go gravy. Gravy
Well,
on everything. Yeah. and that just gets
and
it.
wear your stretchy pants.
Yes, that's right. It's going to be a good. I need some. Stretch. It's going to be a good day. What a day for St. Louis University soccer. The men's team beat Indiana yesterday, 1-0 to advance to the Sweet 16 for the first time in 4 years, and they did it basically playing defense. Tanner Anderson scored the first goal of the game in the 17th minute, and SLU held on from there. A 1-0 victory, a defensive effort, and that was part of the plan, says Coach Kevin Kalish.
Yeah, look, we pride ourselves on box defending. Something we train a ton, and we, all of our center backs are comfortable. And obviously, we know they have lethal weapons. We know the guys that they have, and we just got to really, it's about concentration and focus and really doing the job. We have, Drake Fournier and Quentin Blair and Jason Cortez. I mean, those guys are warriors, right? I'll put those three up against anybody in the country in terms of mentality and will to win. And I think you saw that today.
Now that they've passed Indiana, who knows? They could end up making a run here. Last, they lost in the quarterfinals 4 years ago. They'll try to get there with a victory against Bryant. That's the matchup this coming weekend for SLU men's soccer. SLU basketball will play Thursday. The Billikens play Thursday night, Thanksgiving night, taking on Santa Clara in the Ackerman Classic. Other college basketball to pay attention to. This is a great time of year for college hoops. Yesterday, SIU beat Alabama State 83-68. Southern Illinois topped Delaware 79-59. Illinois State beat Coastal Carolina 94-42. On the schedule today, Southern Illinois and UAB tipping off at 12:30. Those games are taking place in Jacksonville, Florida. In St. Charles, it's Lindenwood and Kansas City. They'll play tonight at Highland Arena in St. Charles and tip at 6 o'clock. Number 8, Illinois, playing at 7 o'clock tonight at home against UT Rio Grande Valley. And Missouri State will take on LIU Brooklyn at home tonight at 7 o'clock. In football, it was the Chiefs over the Colts, 23-20. Harrison Butker's 27-yard field goal in overtime won it. One of 5 field goals in the game for Butker. Chiefs had a field goal at the end of regulation to tie it, send it to OT. They came back from an 11-point deficit and went to 6-5 on the season. Bears, they've won 4 in a row. They beat the Steelers 31-28. I'm Tom Ackerman on the Voice of the Cardinals. The Blues play tonight. They take on the Rangers at Madison Square Garden, 6 o'clock face-off. This is 104.1 FM, KMOX.
KMOX, celebrating 100 years. Presented by Purina. Your pet, our passion. Now, KMOX pioneer.
Before he became one of the most celebrated broadcasters in America, Bob Costas launched his remarkable career right here at KMOX.
I was 22 years old when I came to KMOX.
Costas called play-by-play for the Spirits of St. Louis, hosted Open Line, and covered Mizzou basketball, all while honoring the sharp wit and subtle comic timing he displayed as a semi-regular on The Carney Show.
Zach Carney, he introduced me to the St. Louis audience beyond the basketball games that I was calling.
His 7 years at KMOX set the stage for a legendary national career. From hosting 12 Olympic Games to winning 29 Emmy Awards, Bob Costas has become one of the defining voices of American broadcasting, always proudly connected to the city where it all began. Bob Costas, a KMOX pioneer.
My name is Brittany Allen. I'm a widow. My husband Ryan died. Never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance when the unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
On application may vary. Online health questions required.
Red Kingdom is back at FanDuel Sports Network Live in Ballpark Village. See every game on the largest screen in town. Don't forget about the $25 buckets, $5 cocktails, and the best tailgate food around. Grab your friends along with KMOX and huddle up for the games at the best watch party in town. If you can't make it, but don't want to miss it down, listen to the Chiefs on KMOX or KMOX on the Odyssey app. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
7:50 and time to check in with Roger Brand, who's in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, heading out the door onto the highway, things are looking better for most people. We have new trouble on northbound 270 W with a crash. North 270 north of Manchester with lane blockage. So just be prepared if you're headed that way. You're going to run into more of a jam out going northbound. It was backed up earlier, slow due to folks gawking at the southbound regular too, but now you've got this to contend with. It looks like it's just blocking the far right lane. You've got to move it over, but traffic's in jam pretty much at 44, and it starts to slow at Bradboy. South 270, just a little busy in Dorset, so that's pretty much back to normal. Eastbound 70, still some slow stuff at Wayhaven between Clarkston and Timberlake and right about the Interbolt. It's really not that bad on the eastbound run. If you're on southbound 170, Page down through Ladue is slow. Westbound 64, Clayton Skinker, the Hanley busy, North 55, a little off the pace between Dales and Pairs southbound. Holly Hills Law area looks like we have a bit of a backup now as well. Next up, 758, overhead door company, St. Louis Traffic.
As for our weather, AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg says we're going to be looking at fog and a dense fog advisory through 9 a.m. Things are starting to clear up here in downtown. A couple of showers around today, high 56, but these showers mainly in the afternoon, extending into the evening. Rain's going to end after midnight, low 51. Tomorrow, cloudy shower spots in the afternoon, high 61. Wednesday, windy and cooler, high 45. Thanksgiving Day will be sunny, but it's going to be chilly, a high of 42 degrees. Currently, it's cloudy, 47 degrees downtown at the Arch.
News continues at 7:52. A data breach affecting O'Fallon, Missouri's Code Red system. The system is also not providing emergency alerts.
O'Fallon, Missouri officials say initially they were not told about the security breach and that people's personal information was not affected. We found out late Friday that it was, in fact, compromised. Anyone who signed up for the Code Red, their addresses, phone numbers, and passwords were compromised. O'Fallon officials say there is no indication that the information has been put online. Not all recipients of Code Red alerts elected to create a profile. However, if that was chosen and if the same password is used for any other personal or business accounts, it is strongly recommended that you change those passwords immediately. O'Fallon, Missouri officials are looking at alternative ways to alert their residents with important information. Maria Aquino, KMOX News.
A 54-year-old woman is sentenced to 2.5 years in prison for harassing former school colleagues.
County prosecutor says Leslie Calloway sent hundreds of harassing and threatening text messages to one person and posted a threatening social media message targeting two other people. The victims were an administrator and two former colleagues in the Rittner School District. Calloway's actions resulted in heightened security measures at the school districts A jury rejected the defense argument that Calloway should not be held accountable for her actions because she was suffering a mental illness at the time. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
The Belleville Fire Department unveiling another safe haven baby box, which they say represents a significant step forward in their mission to provide a safe and anonymous alternative to surrendering an infant. The new location is on Miller Road, and at noon there will be a blessing of the safe haven baby box. It provides a secure and compassionate option for parents in crisis to help ensure every infant has a chance for a safe and loving future. In Missouri, there are now 11 safe haven baby boxes.
Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene says she will step down from Congress in January. What to make of her decision?
KMOX Republican analyst John Hancock says Greene put herself in President Trump's crosshairs when he demanded the Epstein files be released. Now she'll probably go away for a while.
The loyalty street with Donald Trump is a one-way street. It flows from you to him. So as soon as she was considered disloyal, the president went out and attacked her, and now she's resigning for Congress. I suspect this is part of a broader plan.
A plan to run for another office, Georgia governor, or perhaps even president. Democratic analyst Michael Kelly.
It appears as though she may have cut herself out as a true MAGA loyalist to be able to go out and say, hey, I've always stood by these things. I don't think we've seen the end of Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think she thrives on the attention.
According to one report, Greene told allies she wants to run for president in 2028. She vehemently denied that on social media. President Trump says he'd love to see if Greene can revive her political career at some point. Scott Jagow, KMOX News.
From the KMOX archives, 11 years ago today, a St. Louis County grand jury chose not to indict Ferguson police officer Darren Wilson in the shooting death of Michael Brown Jr., a decision that sparked weeks of violent protest. Here's former county prosecutor Bob McCullough.
The duty of the jury is to separate fact from fiction. They are the only people who have heard and examined every witness and every piece of evidence.
The grand jury's decision to not indict Officer Wilson on any criminal charges ignited a second wave of violent unrest in Ferguson, while the U.S. Department of Justice later cleared Wilson of federal civil rights charges. Its subsequent report exposed widespread discriminatory practices in Ferguson's police and municipal courts. The 2014 Ferguson riots were a catalyst for the broader Black Lives Matter movement.
It's 7:56. Missouri, get ready. FanDuel, which is America's #1 sports book, is coming soon. And starting December 1st, new customers in Missouri can get $300 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet. From touchdowns to home runs to three-pointers, with FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. With live betting, you can even get in on the action after the game has already started, all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. FanDuel is the best way to game day, and it's coming soon to Missouri. Visit FanDuel.com/promo code to learn more. This way you'll be all set to bet when FanDuel goes live in Missouri on December 1st. That's FanDuel.com/promo code. Play your game with FanDuel, the #1 rated sportsbook app. Must be 21 or older and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Offer starts 12/1/2025. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Bonus is non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
For residential and commercial heating repairs, service, maintenance, or installation, contact Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation. With over 50 years of HVAC service, get in your comfort zone this winter. Visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
At Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, every moment with our patients is a gift. Thanks to supporters like you, Children have hope as they fight serious illness and reach incredible milestones. Please donate today at treeofhope.org.
Just announced world tour for Guns N' Roses. They'll be playing Busch Stadium on August 16th as part of that.
Okay.
Roger Brand's fired up. Overhead Door Company St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses and Guns N' Hoses this week. So what a coincidence there, I guess. Northbound 270 time, we still got some rough traffic, still slow at gravel after 44, and then pockets of stop and go up through Manchester because of that crash in the right lane north of there. If you're on eastbound 64, that's still heavy east of Lindbergh through the Interbelt, westbound 64, Clayton Sneaker out through Hanley slow. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is Monday, the 24th of November. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
Sports wagering launches in Missouri in 1 week. This is Megan Lynch. I'll get a primer on how it works from the head of the State Gaming Commission.
Outspoken GOP Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene says she's leaving Congress. CBS News congressional correspondent Nicole Killian will have more from Capitol Hill.
Parasocial, the Cambridge Dictionary word of the year.
Thousands of people in the region are in dire need this holiday. The United Way will tell you how you can help.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. It'll be foggy this morning, cloudy today, a couple of showers, especially this afternoon, high 56.
News, talk, cars, KMOX AM, St. Louis, KMOX FM, Hazelwood, always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Washington and Kyiv both reporting meaningful progress after weekend talks in Geneva on a peace plan for Ukraine. Correspondent Natalie Brand.
President Zelensky called this a critical moment. Ukraine is working closely with the U.S. and European partners to define steps to end the war. But he also indicated that territory remains a sticking point and said that Putin wants legal recognition to what he has stolen, calling that the main problem.
A Kremlin spokesperson says Russian officials haven't seen the revised plan. A federal appeals court in Washington, D.C. hears arguments this hour in a case involving reporters banned from official White House events. Former federal prosecutor Lori Levinson believes it'll be an uphill battle for the AP.
The claim is being made in the briefs that there's a First Amendment right by the Associated Press to be at these press conferences, whether they're on Air Force One or at the White House, and that the president cannot retaliate against the media because he doesn't like their coverage.
A very busy Thanksgiving weekend. A week is underway at the airports. And for early risers like Megan Jarrett in Oakland, it's been a post-shutdown breeze.
We had flown like a month ago from Europe, and it was really crazy. But this flight today was really quick and easy.
Transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve spoke with Frontier Airlines CEO Barry Biffle.
What do you see for the holidays in particular?
I think the holidays are going to continue to be robust. I mean, we're seeing more and more the holidays are a big deal.
A system outage did stop check-ins at a JFK terminal in New York today for more than an hour. A world first, experimental gene therapy has apparently cured a little boy with a devastating genetic condition. I'm Vicky Barker in London. Hello? This is the moment a medical team in Manchester, England, injects Ollie Chu with genetically altered cells from his own body. 9 months on, the 3-year-old from California appears to be cured of Hunter syndrome, a genetic condition which causes progressive physical and mental damage, killing most of its victims by the age of 20. 4 other children now also having the treatment. A Jamaican reggae legend has died. His family says Jimmy Cliff suffered a seizure followed by pneumonia. Cliff won 2 Grammy Awards and hit it big in the U.S. in 1972, starring in a movie about a struggling Jamaican musician who turns to crime. Jimmy Cliff was 81. This is CBS News.
The annual Progressive Keys to Progress program provides vehicles to deserving veterans, helping our heroes drive their lives forward. Learn more at keysprogress.com.
At 8:03, we have cloudy skies, 46 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Monday, November 24th. I'm Megan Lynch. The FBI has taken aim at violent crime in St. Louis, and it's bearing fruit.
The agency says it made 276 arrests as a result of Operation Summer Heat. The FBI says St. Louis produced some of the highest numbers in the country during the national sting. More than 100 weapons recovered, 250,000 grams of meth, 2,600 grams of fentanyl. U.S. Senator Eric Schmidt says the St. Louis office has also been adding agents. And in Washington, the new co-director of the FBI, Missouri's former Attorney General, Andrew Bailey.
Now having Andrew Bailey, another Missourian who's served in an important role in the state, in that building, in that sort of executive floor is a very important thing for us.
On the year, the FBI says St. Louis has seen a 72% increase in arrests as part of violent crime programs. Scott Jagow, KMOX News.
FBI Director Kash Patel in St. Louis talking with Senator Eric Schmidt about his top priority.
We have great elected leadership like the senator we do here in Missouri, and great state representatives, and local law enforcement willing to get after the fight.
Patel adds the people in St. Louis will see they can do the same thing here that happened in Memphis. He didn't elaborate if that includes sending in the National Guard. A Tennessee judge blocked the Trump administration from using the Guard, but did give the government time to appeal. The trial to remove St. Louis Sheriff Alfred Montgomery from office continues today as the defense makes its case.
Sheriff's Attorney David Mason hinted to reporters on Friday their defense will include arguing Sheriff Montgomery has changed for the better. Will Montgomery take the stand? We asked Mason.
I doubt if he's called to testify, and I think you understand the reasons why. When I talk about that he's learned, it isn't so much remorse as recognition.
Much of the prosecution's case has focused around painting Montgomery as vengeful while ignoring advice and better judgment. Mason is confident their case isn't sticking in a way that rises to removal.
Full Ronto warranted. Is it whatever it is, that the kind of thing that should lead to an elected official being removed? If you look at all the cases that have been cited, we're looking at people who really seem to have no remorse.
Meanwhile, Attorney General Catherine Hanaway has expressed optimism in how the case has gone for their team. Trial picks up this morning at 9. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The Mo Scholars Program will be under the microscope today in Cole County Court. The Missouri National Education Association is suing, calling the change of the program unconstitutional. The law that creates Mo Scholars specifically states it's a donation based, with donors getting a state tax credit. In the last budget bill, Governor Kehoe directed $50 million of general revenue to flow into the program. The NEA says that violates 5 provisions of the state constitution and has created a state-funded voucher program. A judge last month issued a temporary restraining order. Missouri could be in a good spot amid rising demand for critical minerals for electronics and military uses. Department of Natural Resources Director Kurt Schaefer says the state has 30 of the nation's 50 critical minerals.
Missouri is at the forefront of making sure that, to the extent that we have more critical minerals than most states, that we're going to make sure that those are provided for national security and keeping our economy strong.
Missouri's 200-year mining history has left contaminated areas in parts of southeast and southwest Missouri. Schaefer tells Missouri Net talks continue with the EPA to find ways to use Missouri minerals in a way that's less harmful to the environment. For the first time in its 41-year history, the Downtown Thanksgiving Parade was held on a Saturday. From the beginning, it would step off Thanksgiving morning. Also new this year, Celebrate St. Louis now in partnership with the Gateway Arch Foundation. The weather was perfect and drew large crowds who lined Market Street. From the business desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com.
It is folks who are starting things up, folks who are serving residents, families, while investing into their hometown.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker praising small businesses after awarding $10 million to Illinois small businesses.
Pritzker and Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity joined business owners, legislators, and community stakeholders over the weekend, just days before holiday shopping swings into high gear.
With nearly $10 million in funding awarded, this round of grants will reach 47 small businesses and communities all across Illinois, supporting the hard work, the creativity, and passion of entrepreneurs and their employees.
Governor Pritzker says this is not the first time and it won't be the last time grants will be made available to small businesses, because he says it's important to everyone, especially those in elected office, to see the community spurred on with support from state and local government. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
It's 8:08. Traffic and weather coming up in 2 minutes.
Hey guys, Glover here with my good friend John Moriarty. John and I have been friends and business partners for years now. He is the principal at E3 Consultant Group, and he's back with DGS Fold. So, John, introduce yourself to listeners.
I am so happy to be back and also happy to talk about our firm, E3. We have over 70 advisors, Dave, now in multiple cities, working with our clients on the wealth, tax, insurance, asset protection, business consulting side. And one of my biggest passions right now is working with business owners and trying to help them reduce their tax liability, improve their cash flow for future generations.
I've known John for years and years and years now. John is a good guy, very smart, excellent pitcher in baseball. That means a lot to me. You have
Those
a
are
new,
long gone.
you have a new book out.
We do have a new book out. It's called The Entrepreneur Playbook, written for business owners that have an entrepreneurial mindset. And the book should be dropping on Amazon probably in the next 30 days. And we've got white papers that are supporting it. A lot of that information is going to be on our website at throughwealth.com. But the key thing to me, Dave, is we try to keep creating educational tools for business owners, individuals, families, so that they can protect the purpose of their money.
Whether you are interested in classic personal retirement, business growth, or just an overall tax strategy, reach out to my friend John at e3wealth.com.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. For 43 days, the left kept the government closed, holding the American people hostage and demanding radical policy changes, including free health care for illegal immigrants. However, thanks to strong Republican leadership, the Senate voted to reopen the government and put America first. I'm thrilled to return to Washington so I can continue to vote to help Missourians to secure our nation's borders and to cut wasteful spending. Visit Onder.gov to find the office closest to you.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Expert, Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's 8:10. Coming up on Total Information AM, we're only a week away from the start of sports wagering in the state of Missouri. I am speaking with the head of the Missouri Gaming Commission about what you need to know when it starts in just a week. Let's get a check of the roads now. Roger Brand is in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, they completely cleared that crash. Well, there's still a couple of vehicles on the right shoulder, but they're no longer blocking any lanes. The crash we had North 270 north of Manchester. So if you're on North 270, it's still heavy north of 44 to Manchester, and then a couple of slow spots north of there up to Ladue. It's getting better, obviously, in that run. South 270 is all cleared out. Eastbound 64, McKnight into Big Bend busy. Westbound 64, Hampton to Hanley slow. Southbound 70 just a little busy at Delmar and Euclid Towers. That's not bad. Northbound 55, just a little slow at River to Fair and approaching Virginia. So again, not much there. And on the Illinois side, great. No delays downtown headed across the bridges at this time. Next update at 8:20 from the overhead door company at the U.S. Traffic Center.
A dense fog advisory from 9 this morning. It'll be foggy for the morning commute. Cloudy today. A couple of showers, mostly during the afternoon hours. I-56. Night period of rain that will end after midnight. 51. Cloudy and mild tomorrow with a stray afternoon shower. High 61. Wednesday will be blustery and much cooler with a mix of sun and clouds. High 45. Thanksgiving Day mostly sunny but breezy and quite chilly. High 52. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lindbergh on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Currently, we have cloudy skies, 47 degrees in Forest, it's 47 in St. Peters, and 46 degrees downtown at the Arch. This is Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. Sports wagering in Missouri officially launches on December 1st. How's it work? Well, with me now is Mike Lira. He's Executive Director of the Missouri Gaming Commission. So, Mike, what happens on December 1st when all of this gets started? What should people expect?
So when midnight strikes on December 1st, the people who have established an account will be able to place sports wagers in the state of Missouri.
What will those sports wagers be on? What applies in Missouri?
Oh, practically anything, professional sports, collegiate sports to an extent. But yeah, you'll be able to bet on sports all around the world. You'll be able to bet on tennis or basketball or hockey or football or whatever your desire is. That if that provider has a line on that, then you'll be able to book that on.
Mike, does this only apply to Missouri residents, or can someone come into the state of Missouri and do this?
Yes, someone will be able to come into the state of Missouri, provided that you have an account with that provider and establish an account like some Missouri residents did leading up to this over the years. They would have an account, drive across the state line. Geofencing recognizes that and would allow people. So all of the states surrounding Missouri, other than Oklahoma, have sports wagering. So Oklahoma residents can establish an account, drive across the border to Missouri on December 1st, and place their bets.
Who are the providers at this point?
So at this point, there are 8 providers of the mobile apps. Some of them are all but 2 of them are connected to casinos or a sports team. So there's DraftKings, Circa Sports. Those are the 2 untethered. And they have no affiliation with a sports team or a casino. And then the remainers are Caesar Sportsbook, BetMGM, Bet365, FanDuel, and Penn has their own Penn Gaming called the Score.
What rules are these providers working under? What do they have to provide to the user?
Well, to the user, first of all, they have to have integrity monitoring providers. They have to have an agreement with integrity monitoring, such as we've seen over the past few weeks. There's been some shenanigans in the sports betting world, and those things are typically caught by monitoring services, third party, and then presented to the leagues. But, they just typical sports betting. What would they provide? They provide a platform and application from the user from a PC or from a phone or from a casino or from a sports facility. You can go to a kiosk and place a bet. There's various ways that you can accomplish this. For example, in St. Louis, we anticipate the Cardinals utilizing Ballpark Village as probably the place for their sports book.
Are there limits to how much individuals can wager, say, per game or per day?
No, there are no limits. Now, there are some of these providers that do not cater towards the larger wagering person. So, in particular, I think that was one of the reasons the commission chose one of the platforms for the untethered licenses. They really don't have any restrictions or limits on their bet. So some of them cater to the smaller wagerer, and others cater to the larger wagerer.
What do they have to have in place for someone who might develop problems with their gaming?
So in the legislation, in the initiative petition that was passed by the voters in November, there is a requirement that the first $5 million or 10% of the tax revenue, the greater of, goes to a problem gamblers fund. So we have contracted with, under a memorandum of understanding with the Department of Mental Health to provide these services. Those are currently offered for people who wager at casinos that feel they get in trouble and they want some help. So that service has been there, and now it will be enhanced by a much larger pool of funds for people to access and provide these services. You can put yourself on a list and ban yourself essentially for a period of time if you feel you're in trouble and don't want to access the help from the state. Then you can put yourself on a list. You'll be restricted from betting. You won't be able to satisfy that for a period of time.
Mike, based on what you've seen in other states that have started sports wagering, what are you expecting for the first few days of signups?
Well, there's a lot of enthusiasm. Right now, you are able to, as of Monday, you are able to open your account and fund your account. You can't place a bet. And we have not seen any numbers to this point, 3 days into that. But people are setting up their accounts and preparing for Monday the 1st. But, we really don't know. We're anticipating enthusiasm. We don't know how to calculate how many people or what the revenue numbers will be like. One of the offensive providers gracious enough to provide us with some data after this is up and running after the first week, and they're going to show us what betting looked like on the borders, people crossing across state lines to place bets as they would today, and then how that's come back into the state of Missouri after a week. So if you'd like to reach back to us after we get that data, I think that'll be interesting for us to see how much of it is and what levels people are, and not necessarily dollar amount, but at what level the numerals come through of the number of people that are betting. So,
It will be interesting to see how it ebbs and flows during the various sports seasons.
absolutely, as we know that if we get close to playoff season in football, there's a lot of enthusiasm. And then after that, we have the Super Bowl, and then basketball gears up, and then hockey gears up, and then start the baseball season. So, um, yeah, we're just as curious as the public as how this is going to play out.
You mentioned the monitoring that each of the platforms will be doing. Are you concerned about any kind of bet rigging or anything of that nature in the state of Missouri?
So that we are always concerned about that, and that is something that we pay close attention to, and there are a lot of safeguards in place to catch these things. Not only is there an obligation from the sports books themselves to monitor that, but third parties that monitor this will be providing data and potential problems to not only us but the leagues. So I think that there are safeguards in place, and obviously there's always bad players, and no matter what industry you're in. So will there be problems? We expect there to be. We just don't know where they're going to come or what value.
Remind us how this benefits Missouri.
So 10% of the revenue, of the revenue from the sports books, after certain expenses that are allowed and payouts, will come to the state, and the gaming commission will take what we need to operate and maintain and regulate this industry, and then the next $5 million goes to, as we mentioned before, will go to problem gamblers fund, or 10% of that revenue, the greater of, and then the rest will go to the education.
Mike, thank you so much. That is Mike Lira, Executive Director of the Missouri Gaming Commission, joining us this morning here on KMOX. And coming up next on Total Information AM, we are going to speak with CBS News congressional correspondent Nicole Killian on Capitol Hill about the upcoming resignation of Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. Let's get a check now up the road with Roger Brand. He's the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We're not doing bad out there. Again, this traffic reports the service of U.S. Air Force and of Mid-America holiday concerts. If you're traveling north on 270, that's been our busiest highway this morning. And I guess we'll call it north of Big Bend up to Ladue. It's still slow the whole way through there. South 270 is cleared out. Eastbound 54 looks great. And you get right at McKnight to Hanley, just a little heavy. No delays coming in on eastbound 70, northbound 55, coming up from Festus all the way into the city line and downtown. We're clear westbound. No delays coming into the city for drivers on the Illinois interstates. Next update at 8:30 from the overhead door Louis Traffic Center.
And checking that forecast for today, foggy this morning, otherwise cloudy today. Showers during the afternoon hours, mainly a high of 56. Right now we have cloudy skies, 46 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Get into the spirit of the season with free holiday concerts by the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America, December 6th through 12th. Get free tickets and locations at afbandtix.org. That's afbandtix.org.
Hi, Margaret with Neiman Gantner and Capriano. We all procrastinate, put things off, confident we'll have time later. Well, one who procrastinates in choosing will inevitably have their choices made for them by circumstance. Could be an illness or even a death. And it happened to me. I was widowed at 41. It could happen to you. If you procrastinate and fail to plan for your future, for your children, circumstances and the courts will make your plans for you without your input. Eamon Gantner and Capriano help thousands of families plan for their future now. We can be your personal attorney too, guiding you with a will, trust, powers of attorney, Medicaid, and VA. You may delay, but time does mean. Eamon Gantner and Capriano, your estate matters.
The choice of an attorney is an important decision that shouldn't be based solely on advertising.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-269-3454. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-269-3454 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-269-3454 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-269-3454.
Swapping out your tires? Nothing like it. With eBay, you can find the feel you're looking for. From smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay. Things people love.
This is Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch, and we had some bombshell news out of the GOP over the weekend. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was once one of the most loyal and outspoken supporters of President Donald Trump, has announced she's resigning her seat in Congress. CBS News congressional correspondent Nicole Killian joins us now from Capitol Hill. Nicole, what's happened here, and why does Greene say she's leaving Congress?
Well, she basically said that she doesn't necessarily want to have to fight a contested primary. Obviously, because of her split with the president over a number of issues, the president had threatened to primary her. And so she argued, she doesn't want her, in her words, sweet sister to have to go through, considering that she is someone who has defied the president, fought for the president. So that was part of it. Also, she had a number of threats in light of this as the president, although she had faced threats well before that as well, and was concerned about the toll that was taking on her family. She did later, however, deny that she is not considering a run for president in 2028. Of course, there's been some speculation that that was part of why she was doing this, but she tried to knock down those reports in post yesterday.
Now, you mentioned that threat of being primaried by the president. Do you feel, or are you getting an indication that she was under pressure from other party leaders to step down?
Well, most notably, House Republican leaders haven't commented on her resignation today. Not heard at all from Speaker Mike Johnson on this, although she at times has been at odds with him, most recently criticizing him for keeping the House out of session during the government shutdown. She had also expressed concerns of House Republicans not doing enough to address the issue of health care with the expiring Obamacare subsidies. And at one point, she even had threatened to try to remove the speaker from his post through a motion to vacate. So, they have been at odds at times, but she has also worked with him as well on various legislation and, helped try to build support, for instance, with respect to the Big Beautiful Bill. So we have not heard from any Republican leaders, the House Republican leadership at this time, but certainly other rank and file members are wishing her well as she prepares to transition from Congress early next year.
Nicole, who will replace her?
Well, I think it remains to be seen. I mean, look, you already have some people potentially vying for her seat in Northwest Georgia, some state lawmakers who are eyeing a potential run. But look, I want to point out that, again, there's caught a lot of folks off guard, including the state Republican Party there in Georgia, with the head of the Georgia GOP saying, he didn't necessarily or wasn't aware of this. So, there will be time for people to file and run for that seat, but it's unlikely that there will be any kind of special election for a few more months.
Nicole, thanks for your time.
You bet.
That is CBS News congressional correspondent Nicole Killian joining us this morning here on KMOX. It's 8:28. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
It's Tom Ackerman, Genesis of St. Charles, the #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2025.
your premier Genesis dealer. Genesis of St. Charles. Now is the time to visit. It's the signature event at Genesis of St. Charles. They want your trade, and they're willing to pay more for it on any new Genesis purchase. No games, no gimmicks, just upfront pricing. Unlock the e-price today by going to genesisofstcharles.com, and you'll find that every purchase, every one, comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis service valet. Let me tell you, luxurious service at their state-of-the-art facility, 5601 Veterans Memorial Parkway. That's off Mid-Rivers Mall Drive and I-70. It's Genesis of St. Charles. You can get started online at genesisofstcharles.com, but I do highly recommend that you come into the dealership. It's fantastic. genesisofstcharles.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying the timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-242-3131. 800-242-3131.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63 out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife, and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/life.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
8:30, we're going to talk about turkey prices in just a moment. First, though, let's get another update on the roads from Roger Brandon, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we're looking good, Megan. Obviously, it's a holiday week, so I'm not going to expect too much in the way of traffic. And right now, we don't have a whole lot. This traffic report service with Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. It's just kind of slow right now. North 270, north of Manchester, up to Ladue. Eastbound 64, a little busy, really. It's the exit lanes, I think, for the Unibelt right at Richmond Heights. But otherwise, even in the construction zones, if you're looking out west of Orange at 64 and 70 coming in from Wentzville, north 55 down at 67, and north of Payless, everything's wide open there on the Illinois side. Still no delays headed for the bridges. Times are always changing, but Penn Mutual stands the test of time. The 178-year-old mutual company is leading the way in life insurance. Ask your dependent advisor or go to PennMutual.com/SDL. Next update at 8:40, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And checking the forecast for today, it looks like we're going to have cloudy skies, a couple of showers possible during the afternoon with a high of 56. Some rain again tonight, ending after midnight with an overnight low of 51. We have cloudy skies now, 46 degrees downtown St. Louis. You may not be gobbling down much turkey this year. Estimates vary, but Michigan State University food economist David Ortega says the cost of a turkey is up considerably this year.
Wholesale prices for turkey are forecasted to be 40% higher this year than last year. And that's in large part because of the outbreak of high-path avian influenza or bird flu.
Farmers say disease shrank their flocks and it will take time to build back up. Some stores are taking the hit for customers to get shoppers in for other Thanksgiving meal staples. Ortega says there are bargains to be had.
We're seeing some promotions being implemented in an effort to draw customers into the store. So even though prices have increased over the past couple of years, consumers still expect to see a lot of promotions, a lot of sales as we get further into the holiday season.
As of November 17th, a basket of 11 Thanksgiving staples, including a 10-pound frozen turkey, 10 russet potatoes, a box of stuffing, and cans of corn, green beans, and cranberry sauce, cost $58.81. That's about 4.1% more than last year, and that's according to Data Assembly, a market research company that surveys weekly prices at 150,000 U.S. stores. Well, stay with us here on Total Information. A Cambridge Dictionary has issued its word of the year, and it is parasocial, and that's because of the unusual relationships we now have in our digital digital world, I'll talk with Dr. Erica Rutledge, licensed psychologist at SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital.
Woke radical liberals are screwing up this country, but Congressman Jason Smith is fighting back. He backed one big, beautiful tax cut for working families, ending Social Security taxes for nearly all seniors, and taxes on tips and overtime gone. So call Congressman Jason Smith at 202-225-4404 and thank him for back working family tax cuts and putting America first. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunningham, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a lab?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get gutters ready to have a leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. Representative for warranty details.
Time for your money report now, sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Aldo Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's John Tucker.
Bitcoin is beginning the week on the back foot once again, following a prolonged sell-off that's put the token on track for its worst month since 2022. After regaining some ground over the weekend, the original cryptocurrency falling again this morning. And after a late Wall Street comeback on Friday, global stocks are advancing. Investors preparing for a week of key economic data amid rising expectations for a December interest rate cut from the Federal Reserve. Tomorrow, Wall Street takes the pulse of the consumer with the release of the retail sales report. Alibaba Group's QN app drew more than 10 million downloads the week after its relaunch. This is a positive sign for the company's longer-term effort to build a rival to OpenAI's ChatGPT. And Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the Trump administration is working on bringing down U.S. healthcare costs, and an announcement to address the issue is planned for this week. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
Tom Ackerman here for Busey Bank, recognizing the Guardian Angel Settlement Association as a building community partner. Guardian Angel serves under-resourced community members, helping them take the first step on the path to possible. They assist over 5,000 individuals in our community through their early childhood education and social stability programs. To learn more about Guardian Angel, Google Guardian Angel STL. Busey Bank encourages you to get involved. Together, we can build community.
This is Pat Buren, Executive Vice President at Busey Bank. At Busey, community and giving back are at the heart of everything we do. We're more than a bank. We're your neighbors and your partners. We take pride in engaging with the communities we serve and building lasting relationships because our commitment to strengthening our communities is a top priority. Whether you're shopping local or giving back to volunteerism, every little bit counts. Join us at Busey Bank as we continue building the communities we call home.
It's easy to feel apprehensive about getting screened for cancer or to just keep putting it off. But Siteman Cancer Center wants to remind you how important it is, especially after the age of 40. And they also want you to know how easy it is to get it done. GetScreenedNow.com has all the information you need on cancers like prostate, breast, colon, lung cancer. You can also find out your risk of disease by answering just a few simple questions. And then you can find one of the hundreds of screening locations in the area. Even if you're a little farther out, there is probably a place near you. You have heard this before, but catching cancer early dramatically increases the odds of a successful treatment, especially with so many cancers showing up earlier in life. So do not be intimidated. Siteman will make the process as simple as possible. GetScreenedNow.com. Do it for your family and friends who count on you. Do it for yourself. Visit GetScreenedNow.com.
St. Louis Auto Show returns January 22nd through 25th at the America Center. Bring the whole family and explore hundreds of new vehicles from the world's biggest automotive brands.
Then get up close and personal with the coolest, most expensive rides ever created at the $1 Million Mile. There's even something for the kids with our Mid-America Chevy dealer sponsored Kids Zone. Get your tickets today at stlautoshow.com. Kids 12 and under get in free. That's stlautoshow.com.
Is your home ready for the holidays? Call our cleaning heroes in Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $119. Take $75 off air duct cleaning. Book online anytime at zeroresstl.com or call 314-474-2020.
This is 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. The U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops has issued a special message encouraging Catholics and all Americans to stand up against what it calls the ongoing indiscriminate mass deportation of people from the U.S. European officials have expressed cautious optimism after discussions on U.S. peace proposals for Ukraine. The U.S. plan, which initially favored Russia's demands, has been modified. And flying taxis, once a sci-fi dream, are now being tested in southern China. Let's get the latest on the roads with Roger Brandon, the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we look great out there making this traffic report and service to the Sandberg Phoenix law firm. I mean, they just had a stall reported southbound 270 rather, past Nelson Ferry, but looks like it's over on the right shoulder already, so not blocking anything. And the only traffic we have on the interstates is just some volumes going north of 70, north of Manchester up to Ladue, but otherwise, the rest of these interstates, even in the work zones, are looking great. And of course, there's no sunshine in your eyes if you're traveling eastbound, so that's an added bonus. So not much to be concerned about out there right now on the highways. I'm Roger Brand, the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we are more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and product liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers and important decisions should not be based solely on advertising.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, it looks like we are going to have a cloudy day today. Some showers around mainly during the afternoon. A high of 56, cloudy with periods of rain tonight, ending after midnight with an overnight low of 51. And then tomorrow, cloudy with a shower in spots in the afternoon, a high of 61. Right now, we have 46 degrees downtown at the Arch. Parasocial has been named the Cambridge Dictionary Word of the Year, and that's because human beings are increasingly connected in the digital world to people that we haven't and likely will never meet. Dr. Erica Rutledge is a licensed psychologist at SSM Health, Cardinal Glen and Children's Hospital. Joining me now, Dr. Rutledge. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
When we're talking about these parasocial relationships over, for example, the internet or social media or other kinds of media, what are we talking about?
So for the parasocial relationships, those, like you were saying, are those relationships where people are really feeling like they have this personal connection with maybe a celebrity, influencer. Sometimes it can be with a chatbot or ChatGPT or AI.
Is that good or bad?
Well, I feel like most things, it depends. So I think some of the benefits of these connections are that it can really help people who may be lonely or feeling really stressed or overwhelmed gain a sense of connection. However, how much time they're kind of focusing and prioritizing that sense of connection, which is, not real, and is one-sided, which is, I think, the biggest challenge with that can be problematic, especially if they invest too much time and energy into it. And so that gets into the other side, the drawbacks, is that sometimes, again, people can get really invested in these fictitious relationships, and they can devote all their time online, engaging with content or in a chat GPT box, interacting, instead of interacting in the real world or with other people.
Why do we feel like we know somebody if, for example, we've seen them on TV or in a movie or we've read about them?
I think that goes to just our biological instinct to form connections. It's, from an evolutionary perspective, it's really adaptive to when you see someone or interact or watch someone, you kind of pick up little glimmers of their life, and then you may have this connection, and then that may feel like a stronger bond than it may
normally be, especially because a lot of times, at least on media, it's really one-sided. And so I think that speaks to just our natural tendency as humans to be very social and want to be around other people, want to have these relationships, and knowing and connecting with people that may represent things that are important to us or live lives that we want to live. Yeah.
We've always kind of had this in the media, but for younger generations, they are seeing this in a much different way through social media and influencers who are more like real people, I guess we would say. And even there's some limited interaction sometimes in the chats that they might have on social media. What do you think the impact is on these younger generations?
For one, it's kind of going back to that social connection piece. This is a particularly salient issue for adolescents and teens and young adults because during this stage of their life, this need to form connections is actually more heightened and important for them. If you've ever seen Inside Out 2 and you remember Riley Violet, like the parents aren't even on the island anymore, it's all about the friends. And that's really true from a development perspective of friends become the focal point and those peer connections become the most important thing in the adolescent mind. And if you have young adults or teens, this is probably not new news to you. But again, because of that heightened need in adolescence, this is a particularly precarious issue, especially because while we've had social media for a while, the way that we interact and connect, and that it's this constant stream of information is very different from how it was, even 5 years ago, where at some point you were on Facebook and you would end like scrolling, but now it's like a consistent loop. And that you are interacting more, and that even if you may not know somebody, if they retweet a tweet you said or liked a comment you made, you may again have this sense of connection that something exists when, and actually it's still pretty limited in terms of the depth of that connection.
So for parents, when should we be concerned that this has gone too far? What are some things to watch for?
Some warning signs are, one, if you notice that these relationships or the time maybe your child is spending online tends to be prioritized above other commitments and relationships. So your kid doesn't want to go to school because, they want to spend more time on social media, or they have trouble getting up for school because they're scrolling all night on social media, which is something definitely we see a lot. And then I think also when you notice that they start to isolate more and this becomes more of their whole world in terms of connecting with these influencer or people online. And I think really asking your child, hey, what do you think about this? What kinds of people are you following? Why is that important to you? Or what are they doing on there that you like? And can we find like some hobby outside of the internet world that mirrors that interest and looks at that value that's underneath why they may be following a certain influencers? Like, oh, I really like clothing lines. Okay, can we go find a different club or something where you can make things, or some other activities that you can do that are really more active and can maybe have a physical connection component with other teens that they can get involved with.
Do you think sometimes these type of parasocial relationships feel more safe because they don't have that interaction?
I do. I feel like this is kind of like minus the safety blanket. It feels really comfortable, especially when you're in a one-sided relationship and the person you're talking to is telling you everything you want to hear, right? Like that is very safe. In terms of how this is also really, I think, more prevalent now, we have more and more youth experiencing anxiety, especially social anxiety concerns. Part of it is from the pandemic. We did have that period where we were isolated a lot more, and some of those skills in terms of social development really didn't get to grow or are delayed a little bit because of COVID and the lockdowns and things like that.
Dr. Rutledge, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
That is Dr. Erica Rutledge, licensed psychologist at SSM Health, Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital.
Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
It's Tom Ackerman. I've known Jim Brennan, the president of McKelvey Homes, for years. They always do it the right way. And the reserve at Wildwood is proving again with incredible home sites moving faster than expected. If you're thinking Wildwood, don't wait. Go to McKelveyHomes.com right now. McKelvey Homes. They've been building trust in St. Louis for over a century. The reserve at Wildwood, their latest, a 50-acre development with walking trails, incredible home sites. They're selling quickly, and when Jim builds it, you know it's done right. McKelveyHomes.com. Move up to McKelvey. Park-like settings, walking trails, top-rated schools, minutes from Wildwood Town Center. McKelvey Homes, now selling the reserve at Wildwood. Again, go to McKelveyHomes.com before they're gone. 1898 is when McKelvey Homes was founded. Missouri's oldest home builder. Move up to McKelvey.
At Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, every moment with our patients is a gift. Thanks to supporters like you, children have hope as they fight serious illness and reach incredible milestones. Please donate today at treeofhope.org.
This holiday season, the Dave Glover Show is excited to partner with Hardee's and Operation Food Search for the holiday food drive. While supplies last, stop by any metro area Hardee's to make a donation of at least $1 to benefit Operation Food Search and receive a limited edition DGS holiday sticker. All donations will benefit Operation Food Search to help children and families face food insecurities. Get all the details about the campaign or to make an online donation at KMOX.com/events.
On KMOX, the legends came home, sharing memories, moments, and the magic that made KMOX a national powerhouse.
KMOX pioneer Bob Costas.
I'm proud to be connected in any way to KMOX.
Recapture.
Thank you for being here. I'm glad to be back.
The great Charlie Brennan. Welcome back. A lot of memories today. Wendy Roots is back on KMOX, folks. It's been a while.
We collected more than 10 hours of incredible conversation from your favorite voices. Relive this celebration now, only at KMOX.com.
You can give a gift of hope this holiday season by helping families in our region who are really in need of a lifeline. Becky White, Director of Program Manager for the United Way of Greater St. Louis, is on the line to tell us more about the 100 Immediate Cases campaign. Becky, thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Becky, give us a sense. Give us a sense of how deep the need is for many of these families this year.
You know, it's been a difficult year for so many of our neighbors, and a lot of our people in the region are struggling to just meet their basic needs. Things like a winter coat, utility help, a warm meal. We have a lot of folks who are having to make a decision between, do I fill my prescription for my medication or do I pay my rent? And through 100 Neediest Cases, the St. Louis community has a chance to help with that.
How did this program get started?
Well, we are over 100 years old, and happy anniversary to KMOX as well, the Century Club. But we started in about 1920 and in the 20s, and we have been around and interwoven into the holiday traditions since then. And so it started as helping with meals and toys, and we still see that. We still have folks asking for bikes and toys, but we also see, particularly because of the tornado that happened on May 15th, and it's just been a rough year that folks are asking for help with basic needs as well.
Now, I know it's not just 100 families. It's called that, but there are many, many more. How many families are you appealing for help for?
Exactly. So the 100 comes from the 100 cases that are posted in the Post-Dispatch. But we will help about 5,000 families this year through the 100 Needy Cases program. It comes out to be about 11,700 people, and half of those are children under the age of 18. So we know that the need is out there, and we also know that the St. Louis community responds to that need, and we are so grateful.
How hard is it for your staff when they see these stories come in of families who just have nothing and they need those basic needs at a time of year when a lot of other families are celebrating?
Yeah, it's a tough thing. We have a volunteer team at 100 cases whose skills and compassion are just phenomenal. Some of them have been volunteering for 20 and 30 years, and they are the ones that folks will be connected with. If you reach out and you do want to adopt a family or make a donation, you can visit us at 100mediacases.org. Your email will be answered by one of those volunteers, and they will match you with a case that meets your needs, and then you can help meet that family's needs. It's a chance to, it's a different way to celebrate the season of giving.
Let's talk about the website and the different ways that people can help. I know you take direct donations. I saw that you have an Amazon link. You talked about adopting a family. How does all that work?
Definitely. So people can either give us a call at 314 314 4 excuse me, 314-421-6060. Apologize, I've had hiccups today. And then, or they can visit us online at 100mediacases.org, and they can click to donate. There's a button there. You can adopt a family. Our youngest participant who needs some help was just born last month. Our eldest participant is over the age of 100. We have folks who are veterans. We have folks who, if it's a journey that your family has been on, that you want to help a family that's on a similar journey, our talented and dedicated volunteers can help make that match. And then when you adopt a family, you can also fundraise for that family. So I think one of the most powerful gifts I've seen was a adopted chose to help pay the rent for a couple months for one of our families. And I kind of got to hear and see the thank you notes they wrote. And that is a powerful gift because that parent didn't have to worry about making sure that their family stayed warm and safe, and they could use that rent money that they were going to pay, that they didn't have to now because of the gift for, whatever other needs that they had. And then we did an Amazon wish list this year, and we went with household basics because, as we all know from our shopping, everything costs more right now, it feels like. So we have an opportunity for folks to purchase detergent and paper towels and really just those household basics that might not seem so glamorous, but boy, it really makes a difference when you have them.
Well, Becky, thank you so much. And again, 314-421-6060. And what is the website again?
And the website is 100mediacases.org. And they can be part of the group that supports these families, our neighbors. The St. Louis region has done it for more than 100 years. We're so excited to join together and continue the tradition this year.
Well, thanks for all you do, and thanks for sharing with our listeners this morning.
Oh, thank you so much. Happy holidays.
You as well. That is Becky White, Direct Services Program Manager for the United Way of Greater St. Louis.
An FBI surge in St. Louis leads to over 270 arrests. Matt Pauley talks a Blues win and Mizzou loss. And are we living in a post-literate society? It all starts at 9 a.m. on the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Time now for today's spotlight on health and wellness.
To quote a final line from a famous 1960s song, start walking. A University of Cambridge study finds an 11-minute daily brisk walk slashes risk of heart disease, early death, and certain cancers. Researchers say managing just a little bit can make a big difference to your health. 11 minutes of moderate movement should be at a rate of at least 2.5 miles per hour. I'm Marty Schaefer.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Black Friday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality